Hello, everyone, and we are live. Welcome back to the Blackwood. After a summer hiatus, we are regathered as a group. So we're going to jump right into this game tonight. I did want to make a couple of announcements, though. I think since the last time we had an episode, we have officially organized ourselves into a company. So the Mythic Gazetteer is bringing the Blackwood to you tonight. We are part of the Nerds International Network. That's with a hyphen, Nerds-International. They do a lot of great shows. They're responsible for the Wild Die podcast in the Savage Worlds community. They do another one called The Gathering of Dorks. They do some live plays. They have a lot of fun stuff going on. So go check them out on Google+. Check out their podcast, The Wild Die. And then in addition to that, one of our players tonight, Jeremy Lilly, he runs his own game in 5th edition in a fantasy Wild West setting inspired by the Sixth Gun. That is called Caldera, and Derek and I are both players in that one as well. Oh, and Alexander. Yeah, Alexander is a new player tonight. So, with no more ado, let us get into the Blackwood. Let's start off by announcing everyone's characters. So we'll start off with Darkhood.
Hey, everybody. Go ahead.
I was going to say, why don't you give like a brief description of your character's appearance, too, since it's been so long since we've played.
Sure. Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Jeremy, also kind of known in various places of the internet as Erasmus. Here I'm going to be playing Darkhood, who is an elf marked, kind of an archer. He's pretty much like his namesake. He's dressed kind of from head to toe in dark clothing, and he wears a hood that covers most of his face, and he has a mask that he keeps pulled up over the lower half of his face to kind of hide the fact that he is elf marked from most of the people. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. He kicks ass with a bow. So there's that.
All right, thank you very much. Next, let's do Eggle.
Hey, can you hear me now? Okay, cool. Hey, I'm Charlie. I'm playing as Albaz Alfheimer, otherwise known as Eggle. He's woodfolk. He is completely covered from head to toe in leather. He is better with a bow than Darkhood. He comes from a small village in the forest with a sort of mysterious background, and he wears his tabard is a hood that is imprinted with the handprint of his mentor who died, Al Guntram, a former hero of the Blackwood. I think that's all you need to know right now. Oh, and I have a magic horn that could lead to some dangerous things coming up. We'll see.
Cool. Thank you, Charlie. All right, so next we're going to do Sir Faulkner, a new player to tonight's game.
Hi, I am Alexander. I am playing Sir Faulkner. He is an incredibly rich nobleman on a quest to basically undo the last 20 years of rich people making all the poor people more poor by trying to make the poor people less poor. He's incredibly brave, just insanely brave. Super brave. He's super brave. And yeah, he's super brave. Don't worry about it. He's brave. He's super brave. Super brave. And his eyes are dreamy.
Thank you. You brave sir. Next we will do Jan, son of Jan.
I am Derek. I am playing Jan, son of Jan, who might look like Tormund Giantsbane. I don't know. Big guy. He's a hunter, and he is always followed by his faithful companion Mutt, which is a real dog. People, I don't know what your problem is. So, we'll see what crazy shenanigans Jan the Lumberjack gets into tonight.
All right, thank you very much. And finally, last but not least, Free Lord Warren May.
Overly tan guy with a magic sword. Obnoxious, enjoys being rich, and helped eat some of Sir Faulkner's minstrels.
Did you say eat some of them?
Yeah, we had to eat Sir Robin's minstrels.
Haha,
And there was much
gotcha.
rejoicing.
Okay. brave Sir Faulkner. All right. So, guys, we are going to get started now. Whenever we last left off the game, we were in the city of High Hall. We had been there for a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, as long as that long. And the last adventure we went on was where the Lady Love of one Darkhood, her name is Isolde, a Widelander herbalist, discovered that she was being stalked by some entity. And after you all investigated, you discovered that it was in fact a hollowback elf who is a figure out of Darkhood's past. In fact, a jilted former lover. And you tracked her down, you did battle with her in the Mead Meadows, and you defeated her. And
did we ever ask Darkhood what the hell he was thinking? I mean, come on.
You know, despite the crazy, she wasn't all that unattractive. Well, and also beside, the hole in her back. Yeah. Between those two, maybe he did have enough signs that he should have gone another way. But he didn't, and you guys got him out of a scrape. You defeated the Hollowback. And this was at the very end of autumn, right? And so 2 months have gone by, and it's now the dead of winter. The name of the month is actually Dead of Winter. It's the third day of the dead of winter. And you are newly established as a caravan company, based out of wherever you'd like. High Hall is a pretty reasonable thing, but you can do just about anywhere. You have been hired...
Probably based out of Spain, probably.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, you've been hired by another noble. I guess whenever our friend Warren got himself noble papers all signed and stamped, he drew the attention of some other nobles. And a young man by the name of Sir Diederik Schwarzbach decided to hire you guys out to transport some food goods from his home, Dunkelfluss, near the city of Three Rivers, down to...
Floos!
It needs an umlaut over it, I think. Jawohl. Okay, but anyway, you've been hired to transport these crops and alcohol from his village to the town of Denvorn, which is a trip east and a little north. And so you've all kind of gotten to know a little bit about Sir Diederik, or Faulkner, as he likes to call himself. But there are things that you don't know, such as, once upon a time, when he was a younger man, recently having declared himself an errant, he had a situation in his home village. And Sir Faulkner, why don't you tell us about that?
By a long time ago, he means about a month and a half ago. A month and a half ago, Sir Faulkner was standing outside of his family estate with his good friend, Errant Sebastian. And he was, being brave, getting psyched, shadowboxing, not crying at all. And Sebastian put his arm on his shoulder and said, "Are you ready for this?" And Sir Faulkner said, "Of course! Oh, I'm so excited to go fight my dad in a duel to the death, because he's wicked and evil and not scary." And so he bravely opened the door and drew his sword and said, "Sir Heinrich Schwarzbach, you are guilty of corruption, vice and cruelty, and abuse of the common folk. Traits that are unacceptable in an errant. You have been abandoned the unending way and committed heinous crimes against your people. By the honor of my ancestors, I pass judgment on you now and duel you to the death." And Sir Heinrich Schwarzbach, his father, replied, "Okay. Yeah, okay. And when you give up and are crying, I will just send you back to the errantry, and I'll disown you because you're disgusting and I hate you." And then they dueled. And basically, exactly how it happened was Sir Faulkner was incredibly brave by bravely dodging and hiding and ducking, particularly Sir Heinrich swung horizontally, and Sir Faulkner ducked, but of course the backhand went back down at his body where he was all hiding, and he jumped up, landed on the blade, and stabbed his father in the shoulder. But his father's a big, strong, scary man, so he did a front flip behind his father and kicked him in the back, and then his father was like, come on, that didn't even hurt. And then, so Sir Faulkner got really scared because he's super brave, and then Heinrich was just wailing, just swinging wildly at him, and Sir Faulkner kept dodging and then blocking with his big old shield, and then Sir Heinrich got all upset with this running away. He said it was cowardly, but really it was just tactical, avoiding horrible death. And Heinrich then just grabbed Faulkner's shield and then bashed him with one-handed swing of his greatsword, and actually broke Sir Faulkner's arm just right there. And Sir Faulkner like kind of retreated a little bit and was like, "Oh, my arm's broken. This is terrible. I'm gonna die." And he prayed to Franz Fossbach, his oldest ancestor, and decided that the next blow would settle this. And he announced, "The next blow will settle this." But then Heinrich did an overhand swing, which Faulkner tried to parry with his sword, but it actually broke his sword in half. So he decided he was probably going to die horribly, and he started running away. There wasn't anywhere really to run because it was in a big room, but it started to tire out Heinrich, who just was swinging wildly, and then finally he overstepped and was like, losing his balance a little bit, and Faulkner rolled under his attack, kicked his feet out from under him, and then carefully put his sword where Heinrich was going to fall. That's a broken-ass sword, but it's still a little bit sharp, and punctured Sir Heinrich's lung. And as Sir Heinrich lay there bleeding to death, Faulkner picked up his greatsword and said, "Well, I won, I guess. But you're in a lot of pain, so I'm going to go ahead and he dropped the sword, cutting off his father's head."
Shoot, killed his own father. Not a month and a half ago.
And the peasants rejoiced, and he thought they were yelling angrily at him, and so he threw lots of money at them, and now they love him for some reason.
So this might be Sir Faulkner's first real attempt to try and tangibly make good on his new role as the leader of Dunkelfluss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he made a lot of big promises right after then about being a good person and redeeming and fighting bad guys and stuff he regrets saying immediately, but, what could he do?
All right.
And the rumors have, reached Span already about him, but,
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, that's a good point. So, how would we do that? How about, do you have a streetwise skill, Warren?
Of course.
The rumors are actually all mostly lies about how brave he is. I mean, truth about how brave he is. He's got a reputation as being a lot more braver than he is.
I'm talking about the rumors about your socialist utopia and being nice to the common folk.
Well, yeah, make a streetwise check for me. And see if
Wait, he's a communist?
No, just a regular socialist.
Whatever, it's all the same.
No, I'd have to give up a lot more of my money if I was a communist.
12. Oh, shit.
Oh,
16.
16? Yeah, you are definitely aware. You're aware that, he recently took over the estate of his father because he actually killed his father in a duel. And you're even aware, you've heard that he's a brave warrior, even though he's young and fairly inexperienced at errantry. The rest of you...
perfectly, he's brave.
The rest of you know as much as Sir Faulkner and Free Lord Warren are willing to tell you throughout the course of the journey. But we flash forward once again. Actually, first of all, I don't know if I told you this already, Sir Faulkner, but you can have a Benny for that. That was really excellent narration. So you guys are back in this caravan, right? And you're heading east on the forest road. It's been a pretty calm trip the past couple of days. You left a large hub of trade and transit called the Stag and Dragon Inn. It's a famous place for errants. You left that 2 days ago, and you are almost in the village of Alton now. Up ahead of you, there's a bridge that goes across a river. And the bridge, how many, Freelord May, how many wagons and carts are in this caravan?
We've got 5.
5 total? Okay, cool. So, you guys are starting to cross this bridge here, and does anybody have like danger sense or anything like that?
5 plus the one more I brought that's just full of my alcohol.
Oh, that's right, yeah, so 6 total. But nobody has danger sense? I think
we're
it would
also
be an
probably
edge.
smart enough to check the bridge for trolls.
Right, yeah, you checked and there are no trolls up ahead on this bridge.
I have a
Good
hindrance called cautious.
Okay. Yeah, then if you want to dictate like
So do I.
that you have done approaching this bridge, that's fine. In addition to just searching for trolls.
Can I have cautious and I have keen-eared.
Yeah, well, we'll do a notice check eventually, but I'm just
Okay.
curious like, what kind of RP actions you guys are doing at this point.
I have survival.
We're wondering
Survival.
why it's taking so long. What the hell, people? It's a bridge. Let's go. God.
All right. Well, the caravan owner has decreed the caravan
He's
should move
wondering.
forward.
He's wondering. So if they have a good reason as to why we're not doing anything, I'll take it. But
Well, I'm thinking about the last time we crossed a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
you mean when we found that troll and ended up with a shit ton of loot?
No, when we were on 3 caravans running from a horde of wolf apes, and then the bridge collapsed under us, and one of the caravans went tumbling down, and someone died.
Well,
God,
it
this
was
is
okay, I'll make an engineering
You
check
know-
on the roll.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, whenever Eggle makes this claim, whenever he points out what happened on one of your very first trips together, a kind of calm settles over, not necessarily calm, I guess, but quiet falls over you discussing. And go ahead and make notice checks for me, and this would be notice hearing.
I'm not sure what I'm rolling here.
It's the notice skill, or it would be smarts.
Oh, right. Notice is d6 minus 2 plus my wild. Okay. D6 plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also got a 5.
I will say, yeah, I don't want to be out in front of the caravan scouting ahead.
Okay, so you might not even be nearby. You're probably like already crossed the bridge and looking at what's on the other side.
I mean, I would have looked around the bridge as I crossed the bridge.
Well, of course, yeah. But, yeah, if you didn't see anything there, then you would go ahead and continue on a little.
And it's smarts -2 or +2?
Actually, if it's untrained, then it's just a d4 minus 2. Sorry, there's no attribute that gets factored in.
All right.
I misspoke.
It's just flat roll. It's just a flat
Yeah,
roll.
well, I mean, you get your wild die, but yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I got a 2.
2. Okay, so Eggle got a 7, right?
Yeah.
And Warren got an 8, so that's a success with a raise. Okay, so everybody who succeeded, you definitely feel kind of uneasy here on the trail. It's not, you can't really justify why, but something feels strange.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't,
yeah, no
don't,
problem.
don't trust your eyes.
Except Warren, because Warren, in the distance, you hear
Overconfident as shit.
you hear this a very distant calling of a bird of some kind. And so we know that Jan is ahead of the caravan a little ways. Where would everybody else be situated in the caravan?
Wait, is Isolde with us?
That's a good question. Darkhead,
Yes.
would she be?
Oh,
I don't know if there would be any reason for her to be or not, but I'm cool with it.
Okay,
if she
I know
had
that.
a reason.
I know that.
originally I had her being the herbalist for the settlement,
Perfect.
so that might be a reason.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, so she's come along with some poultices or something in case you guys need healing or something then.
Okay. Well, Eggle's
So then-
probably standing on the back of the caravan, keeping an eye on their rear because that's what worries me the most.
Okay, what might be following you?
Yeah.
For those howlers to happen?
Something doesn't feel right.
Cool.
He just starts looking at the rear.
And according to the chat, Darkhood was making out with Isolde, so wherever she is.
Apparently. I would figure that she probably has at least, a portion of a wagon to herself for the gear and herbs and
Wagons
stuff.
is a bit of a misnomer. I will, yeah, they're more like, carts.
Fair enough.
Nah. I mean,
Wagon
yes,
is
really?
I gave her a fair amount of space to grow things, but none of us really have living space.
No, I just meant that she probably had one where she had a lot of stuff stored.
Yeah.
So I imagine that her and I both were on that one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. Isolde is doing what for us right now?
She's the herbalist. She
Okay.
does like healing and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay,
And-
so Jan's out ahead.
And spices for Iron Ladle.
Right, of course. Finding all the best culinary treats. So we know Jan is out in front of the caravan. We know that Eggle is bringing up the rear. We know that Darkhood and Isolde are among the carts.
Yeah, they are.
Warren is probably in the same boat, not necessarily in the same cart, but chilling out with his administrative wagon or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And then Sir Faulkner, what about you?
Well, Sir Faulkner is decidedly bravely bringing up the rear, unless there could be an ambush, so maybe he should be in the middle. He's in the middle. Safe.
Okay.
Does he,
I mean,
does he want to
bravely
be guarding
in
his
the middle.
own wagon?
Yes, he's guarding
Because
his
all
own
his
wagon.
stuff- all of his stuff is in one wagon.
And I'm sure you probably paid to make sure that the wagon was in the middle of the caravan, right?
Yes, it's in the middle. Also, I'm riding my horse, and
Yeah,
my
so
dog
that's-
is riding beside me. And
I
I've
think
got
that
a
would be an additional silver. That's the currency of nobility is actual currency. So.
Sure, I will throw a silver at Warren if I can be in the middle.
All right, now.
He's in the middle
so-
already because we need to make sure that his stuff gets there so that, we can have a good reputation for keeping people safe.
Right, of course, yeah. We need a good review from this guy. Otherwise, everybody who looks us up on Yelp is going to be super pissed.
Exactly.
Okay, so we know where everybody is situated in the caravan at this point. Eggle, make a vigor check for me.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. With a wild, right?
Yeah.
Exploded.
Nice.
11 there. 11.
11? Okay. So you had pretty bad nightmares last night. The whole time you were walking through this dark landscape. It was all black and it was kind of misty at about 50 or 60 feet out. And you kept feeling like something was behind you. And then you would turn around and that feeling would continue, like something was still behind you. But there was nothing there no matter where you turned. But this is not an unfamiliar dream for you. And every now and then it's a lot worse than that. So even though you did have nightmares, you're fine today. You managed to shrug it off and sleep without losing any sort of, yeah.
Bill stroked his horn for comfort, and that's not a euphemism. I have a lucky horn. I have a horn.
Okay, but just at this moment, there's a rustling in the trees overhead. The leaves are just going crazy, and then you hear this. You hear this, "Caw!" and Quillcrows burst out of the leaves, right? And they immediately jump out and clap their wings together, and all these quills all up and down the caravan. So we're going to resolve this as a quick combat, right? It's a rule set that came out not too long ago for Savage Worlds. Now, you guys being stuck on the bridge and being fairly immobile in the caravan will get a -2 for a tactical disadvantage, right? Because they're airborne and they can do all they want and they kind of caught you by surprise. But we're going to each make one roll, and you can choose what skill or trait you want to roll. I would suggest something like fighting or shooting or a spell casting or something like that. But what you will do is decide how you're going to engage in combat with these things. Not like a specific move, but just a general strategy, you know what I mean? And then you will make a roll and will determine, based on your result, how you fare throughout the entirety of the fight. So we're kind of montaging through this fight with just a single roll. So we're not going to do initiative or anything. I'll just go ahead and go on alphabetical order for the character names. So Darkhood, let's start with you. What skill are you going to roll, and what general strategy are you going to have?
Definitely go with shooting.
Okay.
And I will probably get out of the wagon, or the cart, sorry, to keep the Quillcrows from targeting Isolde.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. And you know what? In fact, that was a nice little roleplay element, so I'll give you a +1, so you're actually only at a -1 for this roll.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me your shooting roll, and then we'll see what happens.
Still with the wild die, right?
Correct.
Okay. I think I'm going to spend my first Benny.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, dear God. Okay. One more.
Okay.
There we go. So 10 minus 1 is 9.
9 total, so that's a success with a raise. You truly shine while you're doing this, right? You manage to get Isolde down into the wagon, and then you hop out, and you move away long enough, you actually distract one of the Quillcrows. And describe to me a particularly heroic moment that results from this.
So yeah, there's one that's actually kind of making a pass back towards the wagon,
Okay.
and she is busy trying to get herself further down in the wagon, and she's making a lot of ruckus doing so. And this particular Quillcrow decides to target her. So Darkhood sees that one bearing down towards her, and just as it kind of goes to flap its wings and shoot the quills, he actually knocks an arrow and shoots, and it goes straight through the thing's breast, and it causes it to fall just down into the foliage off to the side somewhere.
Damn, okay, yeah, so it's flying through, it's on the wing, you catch it right in mid-flight, and it crashes into the brush on the other side. You hear it thrash around for a little while, and then all is silent. Well, except for the cacophony of noise from all the living Quillcrows that are still here. Okay, so next is Eggle.
Okay.
So, what are you going to do?
I have a question. Is this a situation where my quickness I can use quickness since it's a montage thing?
Yeah, absolutely. You could do your spellcasting roll instead of a shooting thing, and then quickness could be narrated in terms of outmaneuvering a Quillcrow or something.
Okay, so but using quickness is a turn?
Yeah, so you'll just get one action in this combat, and so it would either be quickness or another skill. Multi-actions I don't think are allowed.
Okay, well, all right, so I'm a little confused with that just because quickness is supposed to give me 2 turns, but does it make sense for quickness to give me 2 turns when it has to be one of the turns?
Well, I mean, in the standard mechanics, that's the way quickness works, but this is designed to be a stripped-down version of the combat rules, so
Okay.
it's more like we would capture the spirit of the power rather than the strict mechanical definition of it.
Okay, so I can do, because I had something I wanted to do, but I don't know if I can do it.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Thinking my cat should. What I wanted to do was I have climbing, and
Okay.
what I wanted to do was I'm on the back of the final cart, and I wanted to swing myself under the cart and use my the strength of my legs to hold myself between 2 spokes under the cart, and then be able and use that leverage and then keep myself pushed up against the bottom of it and then still be able to fire arrows at them from the back, from sticking out from the back of it.
So
But
you're
you-
hiding underneath the cart, but you're poking out far enough that you can shoot at them?
Yeah, but it's protecting me from quills.
That's fucking crazy. Okay.
That's Echo.
So
Actually, to be fair, it was a common Mongol tactic to shoot from behind the horse instead of they would lean forward from under the neck and shoot that way
oh geez,
instead
that's
of
crazy.
from horseback.
Because the way I see it, unlike in our first game, the cargo here isn't as good of a defense because everything's coming from directly above us. Last time we were on a boat, it seemed
and
a
we
little
own
different.
it all this time, so it's our stuff if it gets destroyed.
Right. So, well, I mean, I don't honestly. Eggle doesn't fucking care if the cargo gets destroyed, but it's not going to be as good of a a cover. So I want to use the cart as cover and then still fire.
Yeah, that works for me. So I think what we would do then is just do a shooting check, but it would be at -2, so it would be a total of -4 for you. Because you're still shooting, you're just doing it from like a strategically sneaky position.
Right. Okay, so it would be a -4.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, let's just say it's a -1, so that it's a -3 total. Right?
Okay. So -3 would put it at. Or I'm rolling at D8.
Before you start rolling, I think what I'm doing might give him a bonus to his attack roll.
Actually, Eli, I want to interject.
What do you got?
So the roll is actually to see how much he gets hurt. So shouldn't hiding actually give him a benefit to not getting hurt?
Yeah, that's a good point. So I'll give you a +1 instead of a -1. So you're really only at -1.
-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So.
And while you're rolling that, Jeremy, I forgot that when you get a raise on the quick combat, you get a Benny. So I'm going to give you one back. You're at 2 right now.
6.
6 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a success, but it's not a raise, right? So you managed to get through the fight unharmed. So you don't actually manage to kill one of these Quillcrows, but you do manage to pick a few of them off from actually swooping in and stealing cargo or attacking, one of the caravan drivers or something
I have an idea of how I do that.
Okay.
Okay. So Eggle hears the Quillcrows before he sees them and immediately knows what's about to happen from our encounter with them on the boat. So, unless that was Al Guntram, I can't remember, but I think that was Eggle.
But he would have told you about it. He was your mentor.
Yeah, he was my mentor. So Eggle immediately swings himself, grabs the end of the cart, swings himself with one hand supporting him under, puts 2 legs against the axles of the cart to hold himself up with leverage because he's really strong, pulls out his bow, and is able to fire off a couple arrows, and for specifically at least one of the Quillcrows, as it's about to release quills in sort of, I assume, that fashion, pierces both of its wings and sort of latches them together.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, it's coming
paralyzed
to do its thing. It's like the white falcon sword, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the arrow goes right to it.
And it pins it, and the Quillcrow is like, and it starts to fall, but it manages to rip its wings apart, and feathers go flying everywhere, and it starts to fly away, but it's really labored flying, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So next is Sir Faulkner. What are you doing right now?
No. Sir Faulkner. S is after J. It's Jan's turn.
Jan.
Okay, I see what you did there. So, Jan, go ahead.
So, Jan being the tracker and hunter that he is, he knew this was Quillcrow territory, so he was ready. He was up in a tree. He'd already activated his leaf step. And so when the Quillcrows attack, he leaps from the top of the bough and tries to grab one of these Quillcrows in midair. Nice. So I'm going to say that they don't actually get the tactical advantage on you, so it's a net 0 for you. You don't have a penalty at all. Okay. So you want me to roll a fighting? Yeah, I think that's probably the most appropriate. Ooh. Oh, yes. 17. 17, okay, yeah. So you do jump out, right? And what I imagine happens is that you have your axe already prepped and ready to go, right? And he yells timber. Yeah, timber! And this Quillcrow is right underneath him. And you get up and scream, and the Quillcrow's like, oh! And then you just cleave it, beak to tail, and it falls into 2 pieces on either side of you, right? Right. And then you land on top of the wagon and you, I don't know, swing your axe over your head or something. One way or another. I look to a female guard, because I'm sure we have those, and wink at her and laugh, and then I turn back and yell at the direction of the carcans to say, "Leave that alone!" All right. So you definitely get a Benny for getting a raise on the roll there. Good job. Now then, it is... Oh, Sir Faulkner's turn again. My.
Oh, God damn it. Well, I do my very best, and I yell, "Flukten! Flukten!" to my horse. But my horse is an idiot and doesn't know that that means retreat. And I drop my sword, and I swear, and I grab my crossbow instead and shoot it wildly into the air.
All right, cool.
see
This will be a shooting check.
Yeah, let's see how blind lucky I am. 5. 5 blind luck.
5 total? Okay, and is that with the -2 from the tactical situation included?
No, it's not. No, I'll spend a penny. I'm going to reroll.
Okay.
I don't want to fail. I don't want to get hurt. That's better. 6 and 3 is 9, -2 is 7.
7. A success, but not quite a raise, right? So you too, you've only got the one bolt in there, but you do manage to, there's a Quillcrow swooping in to like attack a driver, and you manage to shoot at it enough to spook it off, even though you don't actually kill it.
Actually, I close my eyes, fire, and it almost hits a Quillcrow out of pure luck.
Fair enough, all right. So, we are down to the last person, Freelord Warren May. Now, at this point, 2 of the Quillcrows have been killed, and 1 of them has been injured and flown away. There are 4 Quillcrows left at this point, for a total of 7. And so, Freelord May, what are you doing at this point?
I am standing up on the lead wagon, and I am pointing out the various crows to various guards and other wagon mates. Jan, Darkhood, Eggle, Sir Faulkner, so they can see where they are.
Perfect. All right, so what would that be then? Would it be like
I was taking notice.
Notice? Okay, notice makes sense. And then if we succeed on this one, then it'll just be that some of the people manage to kill an extra one or something.
15.
15 total? Yeah. So in that case, yeah, you point out a bunch of them, and it turns out, let's see here.
Wine bottle in one hand, finger pointing in the other.
Yeah.
Or I guess I'd probably be pointing with my sword if it's a long enough engagement.
Sure, yeah, I think it would be, yeah. Because this would go on for several rounds in real life if we were playing it out to its fullest. So yeah, then you're pointing these out, and you don't know whose arrow it is, but some arrow lances up and hits another Quillcrow, catches it like right in the neck, and it is shocked at first that it's been hit by an arrow, but then immediately it just starts to careen down into the forest. Eggle's pretty confident it was his arrow. And because that was a raise, you two get a Benny, so I believe that brings you to a total of 5.
6. You said
6
earlier.
total.
One from the letter.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Well, but do you start off with 1 extra? Are you lucky?
I'm lucky, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you're absolutely right. Okay, so at the end, 3, well, I guess 4 Quillcrows.
Wait, Eli, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you get 1 for being a woodfolk and get 1 for being lucky?
Well, you are lucky because you're a woodfolk.
Cool. Never mind then.
Yeah. So yeah, these 4 Quillcrows, 1 of them is flying away, but 3 of them are still ready for the fight, and they kind of circle up on an updraft. Even though it's cold, they manage to find just enough air to rise a little bit. And when they do, you can see them in the light up above the forest, and then all of a sudden you hear one of them go, "Caw! Sunset! Fly away!" And immediately the 3 of them wheel off and fly off to the east.
Okay, I've been drinking, and I've been in a city my entire goddamn life, but I don't remember birds being able to talk.
I don't think they spoke the last time we saw them.
If anybody has knowledge lore, you can make a check.
Oh, that's me. Okay, how about 5?
Yeah, okay. So you've heard a lot of stories in your life, right? And you've heard some stories where Quillcrows have talked before, but they're the same stories where like every animal can talk, and so like it's not like it's undocumented, but they're the kind of stories that children are told, not the kind of stories that adults are told. You know what I mean?
Okay,
they might have taken some liberties.
I don't want to embarrass or insult anyone here, but kind of like the talking snake in the Garden of Eden sort of thing.
Yeah, very similar.
Ridiculous nonsense, except we live in Magic Land.
Yeah, and that's what gives you pause. Maybe there are Quillcrows that can talk, but the stories that you've heard.
Here I am
don't
holding
exactly-
an intangible sword.
This is no mythological snake. We all just heard them talk.
Yeah, it's true.
Right. Flinktot, Coleman, why don't you ever talk to me?
Cause you're a jerk!
Okay, so anyway, the forest kind of falls silent afterward, and you continue to feel maybe a little uneasy, maybe shaken by what's just happened, but it seems the danger is past, so you go ahead and continue on the road. And you arrive at the village of Alton very near sunset. It's almost totally down over the tree line at this point. This village is not very big. There are maybe 10 or 12 houses, or 10 or 12 structures. So we're talking like maybe 100 people, and probably less than that actually. And there's a clearing, like all villages have their clearing, and there's a hedge that protects the clearing from the magic of the Blackwood. And this hedge is, 10 or 12 feet tall and about 3 or 4 feet thick, and it's just very thick vines, but there is a gateway that you pass through. And as you are here, you look over, and the major feature of the village is a long tavern. It's made out of wood. It's got a thatched roof. It looks like it might be, if you were to guess, over 100 years old, maybe over 200 years old. It looks like it's been around here for a long, long time. And then, there are a bunch of pens that are set up around the cottages. Everything is made out of wood. The fences on the pens are basically just like stakes in the ground with sticks kind of leaned up against them and stacked up to be a little bit of a fence. And there's some snow dusting everywhere. It snowed just a few days ago, and so it's kind of started to melt a little bit, but we're still dealing with some snow flurries, some drifts every here and there. You can see your breath as you roll into the village. And not long after you pass through the gate, there is a figure who stops you, and you would recognize this as one of the town guards. And so the figure kind of walks up to you. Hey, what are you doing here?
He'd probably know we were coming on our way.
Okay, yeah.
Because Toothsome Merklin would probably show up ahead of time.
Right, that's a good point. However, Toothsome Merklin is not next to this guy, and he says, "What are you doing here?"
Jan walks past him and heads towards the tavern.
He says, hey, I see your errant. I see your tabard there. Turn around, wood folk.
Jan kind of turns and says, "I'm thirsty."
Yeah, you're an errant. There ain't nothing for you to drink around here.
It's cold out here.
Whoa, what? Whoa.
Yeah, Jan stops and turns around.
Whoa.
So the guy kind of looks you up and down, Freelord Warren, and he says, "Well, begging your pardon, my lord, but we just don't like errants around these parts."
Sir Faulkner is very happy that he usually hides his errant tabard in the saddlebag of his horse.
Why not?
Ain't never been nothing but trouble for us, no sir. Sure as silver. If you want to get more information out of him, I need to do a persuasion check.
Of course.
Well, Jan takes the tree branch that he uses as a tabard and lifts it up in his hands and kind of stares at the guy and is trying to intimidate him.
Okay, go ahead and do the intimidate check.
Which I don't have intimidation, so it is a D4 minus 2.
D4 minus 2, okay.
I would also like to...
Roll a 4.
Warren, did you do a persuasion?
7 plus 2 equals 9.
I got a 4 total.
4 total, okay, and this is versus this guy's spirit, so... well, that was versus the spirit, and then so that failed. 4, okay, so the guy is listening to you talk to him about, listening to Freelord Warren talking to him about trying to get more information, but he's kind of looking over at Jan, and he sees Jan giving him this crazy stare, and it's
almost like the one in my picture.
Yeah, almost. And you see him kind of like visibly shiver, and then he looks back at the Free Lord and he says, "Well, my lord, you see, it's just that all these errants come here with their promises of good deeds, and then all they do is half measures, and then they bleed us dry for the trouble. Then they move on. They don't even leave anything behind for us. What good is that?"
At that, Jan will turn around and say, "Good, I promise to do no good deeds," and goes into the tavern.
Faulkner says, who's, I'm sorry, who did this exactly? Which errands?
Which errants don't do it? Every last one of them's no good.
Names, do you have any names?
I don't bother to learn the name of every poor sap strolls through this
thank God.
village on the way to Denvorn or outside.
So then it's not my fault if we don't find him. I mean, good, that's too bad.
You want to look for him?
I mean, justice demands that we bring these people to justice.
I got a better idea, and I put my hand around my fellow noble and say, why don't we do something else? Instead of finding our foolish comrades, we correct their incorrect representation.
These other errants are none of our business.
No. We, as good errants, must put an end to the evil errants.
They're not evil, they're just foolish.
No, they're wicked. They take advantage of the peasant folk, and that is inexcusable. And
He's right,
it
my
must
lord.
be stopped.
He's right.
We will waste time looking for them.
Okay then, sir. We do both.
All right.
What does your village need?
Well, he kind of looks at your caravan. He says, "Well, a lot of good food you got back there. Our silos are a little low."
Food and a feast for the whole town.
Oh,
Right.
The solstice is coming. We need to have a feast.
you do that for us, sir?
Why not?
Well,
Excuse me, Warren, are you just giving away my food?
I'll buy it from you.
well, thank you kindly. And he kind of knuckles his head to you, and you notice at this point that he's actually pretty old. He's got gray hair. He's got a lot of wrinkles, that sort of thing. But then he eventually, waves you into the village. And so the caravan rumbles on. It goes into the town, kind of circles up in this central square area right next to the tavern. And you notice that there are also 2 shrines in this village square area. One of them is an ancestor shrine, which should be familiar to everyone. It's a stone lantern that's got these little stone memorial markers that are arrayed around it at different areas, and some candles that are kind of set out here and there too. And then on the opposite side of the clearing is a tall, thin spire of stone. It's probably only about 1 foot by 1 foot at the bottom, and then it raises up about 12 feet. But in the top, there is this section of colored glass. And the sunlight from the sun that's just barely setting over these trees is coming through, and it's hitting the glass and spilling out light all over the circle where you guys have just circled up your wagons. And anyone who's familiar with it, I guess anybody who was on the last adventure for sure would recognize this as a symbol of the unified Tridelands, which is kind of strange to see this deep into the Blackwood.
Any stranger than finding the lens in High Hall?
Can I ask what the Unified is?
The Unified is the religion of the Widelanders outside. You probably wouldn't know much more than that. Some other people in the party might, but I mean, you could definitely investigate while you're here. If they've got a shrine, they probably know something about the god.
Well, I'm heading straight to the ancestral shrine, so I'm good.
Okay, gotcha. What else is everybody doing at this point?
I am also heading straight to the ancestral shrine to not think that I didn't die, but, pay respects. I didn't think I was going to die.
Yeah, of course. Jan, what about you? You went to get a drink, and then you came back out and you were listening to the exchange. What about whenever they got to the village?
So Jan takes his mug and walks around the spire and looks up at it and looks down on the ground and says, "You think this will catch things on fire?" Pretty much like to his feet.
Okay. And then Darkhood, what about you?
He's going to help make sure that Isolde kind of gets her cart set up in the circle. And he's drinking on the ale that Jan brought for him. And then he's going to try to find somebody who looks like they might know where to find such a thing and say, "We need mead. Warm it up."
Whoa. No, we got that covered.
Oh, we have mead. Never mind.
All right. So Jan and Darkhood are kind of both chilling out vaguely in the area of the Unified Shrine if Jan is looking at it. Warren, you're within earshot at least. What are you doing?
I am going to have to head into the tavern with Iron Ladle because we're going to need to find a proper kitchen.
Okay. Sounds good.
We're going to need to find out how much food stores they've got. I mean, we're going to be giving them wheat anyway, whatever. And we're going to set up for this feast, and we're going to have a damn good time.
Nice. Okay.
I'm even going to drop into, I don't know if you took a look at the original caravan stats.
I did, yeah.
I'm even going to drop into half of my personal stash of wine for this festivity.
Wow, okay, cool, okay.
But
so you get into the kitchen, and you're met with almost no resistance. This is pretty common for a noble, especially when you're in a small town or a village like this. And, they're actually pretty thrilled that you're willing to throw a feast for them. And they don't have much. Like, they've got enough to be on fairly strict rations for the duration of winter. But they definitely don't have enough to really enjoy a meal ever. So they can't really contribute anything to this.
The caravan's got almost a tavern, so we should be okay in terms of stocks for,
Right. So let's say that, like, with 100 people, and then the errants and the caravan drivers and all that stuff, all of your entourage, I guess, it's going to cost, let's say, 300 silver pieces from your noble income this session to be able to feed all these people.
300 including what I'm going to be buying from Sir Frederick, or
what I actually imagined was that you would just that income would be gone from you and it would be a part of Faulkner's income, because it's really his food that we're selling. You're just the one who's authorizing it to be sold.
Yeah, but I'm buying it from because I'm assuming the town can't afford it.
Right, exactly. But like the food as a unit is part of Faulkner's income. So if you're taking some of the food, then you'll just put some of your income to compensate him for his income.
Well, yeah, but I was asking how much that would be.
300 silver.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's like a total cost. That's how much. The only sum is 300. They're not anything in. Cool. Okay, so then, you guys set up a feast. While this is going on, Eggle and Sir Faulkner are at the Ancestor Shrine. And so when you guys arrive, you notice that there is a shrine warden who's standing there kind of like tending to the little memorial markers and things like that. He's actually just starting to light a light inside the stone lantern. And he says, "Oh, children, how are you?" He's an older man, too. He's got a big, thick, bushy white beard.
Great. We made it safely through the wilderness to your town. It's just great. Just great. How are you doing?
Very well, sir. Can I assist you in lighting the beacons?
You want anything for it?
No.
Well, all right. I'd be happy to have your help. So yeah, you kind of bend over and you're helping him to light these candles and the lantern and all that stuff. There's actually stuff kind of placed all around the circle, so you can actually wander around and do that too. And Sir Faulkner, what are you up to?
Having finished paying my respects to my ancestors, I'm going to leave them to lighting candles because that's what peasants do. And I'm going to go to my personal store of alcohol and take a big, long drink of my beer, and then decide that if Warren's going to be so generous, and I'm trying to be a paragon of generosity. I can't not also contribute. So I go and I grab like 2 casks, they're 2 pony kegs, one under each arm, and be like, okay, here's some beer. It's the best beer. It's the best.
Nice. All right, so you can subtract what, like 50 or 100 silver?
Sure, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I have infinity money.
Yeah, you do have a lot. Let's say
I
100.
will. I'll offer the warden a collection of spiritual herbs to burn in the ancestral shrine.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, he definitely accepts them. Now, Jan and Darkhood, you guys are near this unified shrine, and you notice that there is another Widelander in the village. He kind of walks up to you and he says, "Oh, hello, my brothers. How are you?"
Jan turns to him and says, "I bet you I can climb it."
Climb Aruniel's shrine.
Darkhood's gonna interrupt the Wylander and say, "Nah."
Oh yeah, I can.
I don't know. Not without Mutt giving you a boost.
Well, surely, brothers, you jest.
We jest all the time.
Okay, well, it is quite funny to to think of climbing the shrine.
Just
who on earth would do
wait.
such a thing?
Jan turns to him and says, "Funny, you don't think I can do it?"
Just wait until he actually gets up there.
He looks you up and down, and it's mostly up because I imagine he's shorter than you are, and he says, "I am certain that you could, woodsman."
Damn
A strapping
straight.
man such as yourself.
Nah.
What is your name, if I may ask?
Jan kind of stands and puffs up his chest and looks at him and says, "Jan, son of Jan," and expects him to know who he is.
Son of... Your father's name was Jan too, then?
And my grandpap.
And your grandpap. A whole family of Jans. How interesting. And you, sir, what is your name?
I'm known as Darkhood.
Darkhood, yes. And he kind of like squats down and he looks up like into the hood. And, he looks up and he catches sight of what's underneath the hood, and
At that point, Jan grabs kind of like his collar and kind of lifts him up and holds him back. Says, "That's close enough."
to the Widelander guy, the unified guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he comes forward and then he gets pulled back and he says, "Brother, do you believe in the power of the ancestors who are supplicants to Aruniel?"
Something
Jan
like
looks
that.
Jan looks at him and says, "What?"
He looks at Darkhood, and then whenever Jan says what, he turns and he says, "Oh, I am Brother Marian. It is nice to meet you. I am the steward of this village, if you will, and Aruniel is the lord of light and sound. He lives in the sun. His voice is all music, all over the world. And your ancestors, they are supplicants to him. They are angels in his heavenly choir. And only together can we drive back the evil that waits for us out in the world. Like the elves, they are demons. We should not entertain them."
About
Darkhood's
halfway
gonna
through
let
his,
out a growl.
Darkhood's gonna let out a growl.
yeah,
I hear Mutt.
About halfway through his speech, Jan loses interest and turns around and starts sizing up the pillar again.
Okay, so this conversation goes on for a little while. At this point, the dinner is well underway. Eggle, you had something you wanted?
How close is that shrine to the ancestral shrine?
I would imagine that the circle is probably no more than 30 or 40 feet across, and this guy's talking loudly enough that you can definitely hear him talking, but if you want to hear what he's saying, it'll be a notice check.
Okay, can I do that?
Yeah, totally.
Notice is d6 plus 2. Six.
6 total? Yeah, then you definitely catch snippets of what he's saying. You hear him talking about Aruniel and the ancestors and supplicants and elves.
But I hear his name, right?
His name? Yeah, Celebrant Marion. No,
Okay.
he's actually just a brother. He's not a celebrant.
Can I rush over to him and ask if he knows of Al Guntram?
Owl Guntram. That name is... Yes, Owl Guntram. I went on a river expedition with him to a village, what was it called? Dolm. Dolm was the name of this village, yes.
Yes. You unseated a noble who was starving his villagers.
Yes, it was a memorable adventure.
I have heard of that many times.
Yes, you know, Guntram, he was quite a formidable hunter. He was a crack shot.
He was a man beyond men.
How do you know Owl?
Well, for all intents and purposes, he raised me.
He raised you, did he really?
He did.
How exciting. Well, how is he now?
He passed several years ago.
Oh no, that's so sad. Well, he is with Arunial now in the seat of the sun.
Can I? And then Egil takes off his tabard for the first time in a long time and shows him the handprint of Al Guntram on his tabard.
He
doesn't
kind of
show
like
to anyone.
he takes it into his hands. He doesn't necessarily make you let go of it, but he kind of like holds it up for himself to see, and he says, "This is a rare treasure." And then he's looking at it, and his eyes widen, and he realizes, he says, "Oh, it is time. Come, 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 please, all of you, join me around the shrine. This is a momentous occasion." And so he comes over, he goes over to the shrine, and he picks up a bell, and he beckons you. Do you all stand around him?
Yes.
Oh, dang it. No, Jeremy, you're right. He had an Islander accent. Okay. Retcon. So, whenever Marion gathers you all around, he happens to have been sounding like this the entire time. Okay, brothers, come, gather around the shrine. It is time to say goodbye to Arunial for a night, and to let the moon watch over us while he is gone. Are you ready? Here we are, Arunial, bidding farewell to you. As the day dies, as night rises, as your light goes and the evil power of the elves arrives, here we are, bidding farewell and pledging our faithfulness to you until you return with the morning. And then he rings out, dong, and almost at the same time, the sunlight goes past the trees, and the light coming from the symbol up on the top of the shrine disappears, and night has fallen. All right. So at this point, we'll fast forward to the dinner. You guys can talk to whomever you want in between now and then, but for the story purposes, it's now time for the feast. All the villagers have come out, and you notice as you're mingling with people, or maybe not mingling, but as you're looking around, all of the villagers are either much older than you. You are all in your 20s of some kind or another, either young or old, or makes no difference. You're all in your 20s. And all of these villagers are either in their late 30s or older, or there are 3 or 4 of them who are just children. But there's nobody your age. There's a pretty sizable age gap. But they're all very grateful for the food. They are actually pretty thrilled, and
we're in a persuasion check to find out where all the people are.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me that roll while I finish up this narration. They're all kind of suspicious with you still, but you get the sense that they're being more open than they're used to being with outsiders.
It took 2 bennies, but 17.
17, good God, okay. And then Sir Faulkner, were you getting ready to say something?
Yeah, Sir Faulkner is going to go over to Jan and say, "Stop drinking that piss water," and give him a cup of Schwarzwein.
Schwarzbier. Okay. So,
which I believe you have a picture of, right?
Well, about that. It's on my phone. I wish I had a picture of it, but basically, this beer is black. Like, even the head is black. It is an extremely dark beer.
Would Jan have had any before?
I mean, Sir Faulkner, I imagine it's distributed here and there, but it might be kind of rare considering that your village is not a huge village.
Well, the production of it was not so great the last 20 years because of the whole poorness of the people.
Mhm.
But he's bringing it back.
Was it not in circulation, or was it just expensive?
It was just not in circulation. They just basically
Okay.
stopped making it.
Okay, well, Jan will take it gladly and will pour out the rest of his other drink. We'll sniff this new one. We'll look down at his feet and says, "Oh, all right," and pour a little bit out on the ground. And
Whoa! Don't pour it out. It's good. It's good. It's
kind
good.
of swirls it around, takes a sniff, and then takes a sip, and then just downs it.
Okay.
Just all in one.
Yeah.
It tastes exactly like toffee because it's made from extremely over-roasted malt.
So when he gets done, he lets out a loud belch, laughs uproariously, and slaps Faulkner on the back and says, "Thanks, Falky."
Where, Charlie?
All right, sounds good. So, yeah, you guys are enjoying this feast. You got a 17, was it, on your check to persuade these people to find out why there are no youngsters?
Correct. It cost it took
Hold
2
on.
pennies.
Eli, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Can I be talking with Marion and get some information about the village?
Sure, yeah. So I guess you would be. You don't actually need to roll for that. I'll just tell you some stuff about it. Warren, though, so you are asking around during this feast, right? And people are a little greased by the wine already, but you happen to have a silver tongue, so you are talking to these people and you find out that they just can't keep youngsters around here, you know? Like, they don't have a lot to offer. They're a simple farming community, and times are really hard. It's basically a choice between staying here and always being hungry and always being a little bit scared, or answering the call of errantry and going out into the world and seeing what kind of name you can make for themselves. But in the past 2 or 3 years, none of the kids who have left have ever returned. There were at least 10 of them, 15 by some counts, that got up and just never came back.
So in my head, I can come to the assumption that it's not so much that errants have done them wrong, as it is just the call of errantry is killing the village because people are leaving.
Well, you definitely get the sense that that was a part of it, right? But you weren't specifically asking about what else their beef is with errants. So that's the only clue in the mystery that you've discovered,
But
right?
it could be part of it. Like, it's not, the kids have been kidnapped or anything like that.
Absolutely. It's not just that errants are jerks. It's also that errantry has cost this village its potential future.
Had I looked at the town, is their farming set up in a poor fashion that I could, recommend some fixes to via engineering, or is it just this is a hard place to live and they're just going to have to suck it up?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing as much as they can with the little. They don't have quite as much hedge space as they really need for all these people, even though a lot of people have left. And the hedge space that they do have, they don't allocate it in such a way that makes it easy to do farming with the number of people that they have left. It looks like it's a real challenge to live here. And you could probably suggest some
Could it be
improvements.
allocated better, I was going to ask?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I have a question. Do I overhear this?
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
it would make sense
We're probably near each other.
to be noble in the village,
Well, I will interject and say, there's another village not too far from here that we need lots of people to come move to. In fact, the whole village there's work, there's plenty of food. It'll be treated with respect by the noblemen there. It's a great place to live. You should not all of you, but as much as you want, it's great. You should move there.
Give me a persuade check for that.
I will. I will persuade the fuck out of them.
Don't
And then
forget
we'll
your
switch
plus
over
2 for
to
charisma.
Eggle talking to the unified guy.
Okay. How much is my bonus to charisma? Just
Plus
2
2.
for being... Okay.
Plus 2 for being a noble. I don't know if you've got anything else.
11 then.
11? Yeah, okay. So as you're talking, there are a fair amount of villagers who are around you two, but they're maintaining a respectful distance because you're nobles. You're real eye candy. You're dressed much better than any of them. You've got more jewelry than any of them.
I'm actually not.
really,
I'm not dressed
yeah,
fancy.
I'm really not. Nah.
Okay. Well, I mean, still, you give off like if you have.
I'm
one,
well bathed,
Yeah,
but
that's you're clean. Your clothes are clean. Your clothes don't look like they're 3 years old. I'm sure. And yeah, I mean, you would each maybe have like some piece of jewelry or something as an identifier, even if it's just one. And that's one more than any of these people have. So you're still very clearly set apart from them.
well, that's true.
Yeah, and you see a lot of people kind of considering your words, Sir Faulkner, and then they like one of them even in the back kind of spits, and then a couple of people you hear them murmur things like, "Well, this is our home. We always been here." Blah blah blah. But there are quite a few people in the village who seem to be carefully considering what you've just proposed. And now we're going to switch over to Eggle, talking to Celebrant Marion.
Okay. Guntram, Owl told me that they went on a journey, and Marion was asked by the village to stay and help them and lead them as a spiritual advisor. And I have two questions for him. One is basically just about the change in the village over the years. Has the lack of youth is that something recent that's developed, or is that something that's been happening?
Yeah, well, first of all, he points out that the village that you are in now is not the same village that he was asked to stay in.
Ah.
And he says, yes, well, you know, brother, I was there for many years, and it was a good time. But we celebrants of Arunial, we wander because we want to bring all the people together. And after many years there, another celebrant arrived, and I decided to go further into the Blackwood, see what I could find. And so my time in the village of Dolm is done. Here I am trying to do the same thing, but it is not as easy, my brother.
I have one supplement question to that one before my second question.
Sure.
Owl told me of an elf that had been seen and heard near Dome.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever learn its name?
No. In fact, it was not something that I could address while I was there. Arunial's power was not strong enough in that place. And so I protected the village, but I could not defeat the elf. But I did tell the next celebrant when he came in about this elf, so that he could find out more, because now the power of Arunial is stronger in that place.
Okay. And then my final thing is, have you felt a darkness spreading across the land recently?
A darkness? Oh, well, you know, times are hard in this village. I have not traveled from this village in, perhaps a year. But it is a dark place. Without the children here, without the young people like yourself to keep the village going in future generations, I do not know that these people will last very long.
But besides the state of the village, spiritually, has anything felt strange? Has anything felt different? Does something feel off?
It has, my brother, and I will tell you. Here, listen to my tale. And now we're going to switch over to Jan and Darkhood for a second. So what are you guys doing? You're probably getting trashed.
Sure.
Yeah, he's like I said, if we've got mead, he's gonna have some hot mead to keep him warm because I imagine it's cold, especially after the sun goes down.
Okay,
And,
yeah.
If we have a big fire going, hanging out near there with the soul.
Okay, sounds good. So then everybody who is drinking, give me vigor checks to see if you get drunk. But for Jan and Darkhood, give it to me at a -2.
What if we're alcoholics and we don't get drunk?
If you're an alcoholic, then you too make the roll at a -2 because you
What
can't
if you're an
control
alcoholic and you automatically fail?
yourself. You can elect to fail. That's fine.
What if your vigor is your worst check?
Well, then you better hope you get an ace.
I got 2 aces actually.
Nice.
I am going to
Even-
opt to fail.
Okay.
Ooh.
The Schwarzbach can hold their liquor. I got a 5, including the -2.
I just got 4 exploding d4s, so hold on.
Jeez, so that's 12 or 16. -2 is 12.
No, 12 plus 3 is 15 minus 2, so 13.
Okay. 13. Three Lord Warren got a 3. That's too bad.
Whatever.
Darkhood just elected to fail.
Yeah, Darkwood was trying to keep up with Jan.
Yeah. Eggle, I don't think Eggle drinks, does he?
No, not tonight. I am definitely not drinking recently. I do drink, but not recently.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and then Sir Faulkner, did you make a check as well?
Well, yeah, I got a 5. And you know why Darkhood got smashed was because Faulkner introduced him to the Schweissbier.
That's right.
It's very potent.
that was the set that set up the spike that is the mead he's drinking. The Schwarzbier. He wasn't expecting it. It came way out of left field. Okay, so yeah, you guys are all feeling pleasantly tipsy. Definitely Freelord Warren and definitely Darkhood. Jan, you managed
That's
to.
because we know how to party, and the rest of these schmucks are just,
Yeah. Jan, you handle your drink. You are not like sloppy drunk, but you are still a little fuzzy in the head.
And unlike the rest of these peasants, I know how to hold my liquor, especially that peasant. What is his name? Warren? Peasant.
He is a lower noble rank than you, I imagine. If only because he doesn't have a.
but from a
village
more
that he-
prestigious family.
Right. Yeah. So,
Whoa! My family's the most prestigious. We've got 95 ancestors, son.
Anyway, can I use my being drunk to come up with a really, really outrageous plan for how to engineer the community into a better lifestyle?
Absolutely. Yeah. Give me a knowledge engineering or whatever. And I'll give you a +2 because it'll be drunken brilliance.
Excellent. Drunken brilliance. Ha! 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you you have quite a plan. Tell us about it.
It's a layered farming. It's a tiered system.
So they're going to build platforms and farm on top of these platforms.
And they're going to use mirrors to get the light to the lower platforms.
Okay. So
It's going to be expensive to get the mirrors, but I'm willing to make a donation.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
So
it's fucking stupid.
any wood folk who is hearing this, like any Eggle or Jan or Darkhood, as you're hearing this going on, you're looking at the faces of the crowd, and you're like, yeah, they think he's a smooth talking river folk right now. They probably don't trust this guy as far as they could throw him, not even altogether. All right, so at this point we'll jump back to Eggle, who is talking with Celebrant Marian. And Eggle, your question was about what now? Remind me.
Has he felt, he's a very spiritual man, as I am, has he felt a darkness? Has he felt anything strange? Is there anything different about, is he finding it harder to pray? Is he finding it harder to find the spirituality that he normally finds every single day? Is there any sort of darkness that's surrounding?
Yeah, so he says, my brother, I will tell you, yes, I have felt this darkness. I think the villagers think it is some kind of elf, the shrine warden. He is certain it is an elf, but I think it goes further than this. I think that the elves are connected to this wilderness that wanders the Blackwood, yes? And I think that if we could keep the wilderness from coming close, we could keep the elves from coming close too. I have a plan.
Whoa!
tell you
I am right there. Am I hearing this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn straight.
Anybody
get rid
else
of
who's
the-
within earshot is welcome to start paying attention as well.
Let's get rid of the wilderness.
Yes, so here is my plan. The light of Arunial shines over all things, and you saw when you arrived, the light from his shrine was cast over our village, and I think it keeps our village safe. I feel its safety. I feel its security whenever it shines down upon us. I have in my cottage another shrine that is smaller, but the colored glass is the same size, and I think if we were to take this shrine to the top of Little Peak, just outside the village by a few miles, I think if we were to place it there and make prayer to Arunial and hallow the mountain, then his goodwill would pour over all the land, and it would keep the wilderness away.
Here, here.
Okay.
And that.
Have you been?
Okay, as a wood folk, like I am an ancestor worshiper, how do we feel about the unified? Like, do we just kind of accept it, or?
Well, okay, so the Unified is not a universally welcomed religion, and basically what they say whenever they arrive is that the ancestors are already unified supplicants. They already serve under Arunial, they've just forgotten it. And so the Unified are there to remind them, right?
Yeah, Jan doesn't know what supplicants means, so he always gets lost when they say that. So I guess he'll just understand, like, yes, it's the ancestors.
That would be a reasonable assumption, yeah.
I'm wondering, after all these years, after all the attempts to control the Blackwood, why does he think this would work?
Well, my brother, I mean no disrespect to your ancestors, of course, but they are but supplicants to Arunial, who is the highest and the greatest god.
Hey!
And so,
Hey!
what?
Franz Schwarzbach, the greatest of the Schwarzbach, personally defeated the force to make room for all of our land.
Yes, my brother, it sounds like the light of Arunial shines brightly within him.
Oh.
Yeah, Jan pipes up and says, and we gave Brushstaff a close shave.
Brushstash, who is this Brushstash?
I'm going to tell the story in drunken glory. Persuasion to make everyone like us more.
Okay.
And especially me, who set the bastard on fire.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check for that.
7 + 2,
Yeah.
9.
9? Okay. Yeah, so the party, like the village, as they're listening to this tale, they're like on breath as you're talking about Brushdash, and then when they're done, they all hear, and they raise their horns and their tankards and all that stuff. And,
That's right, the Blackwood likes stories.
yeah, that's right. So you were standing with them has improved even more. They are very few of them are suspicious of you all at this point. And I see Eggle is skeptical about this. What's the story there?
I know that Al Guntram had great faith and was a good friend of Marianne's. But he also spoke to me of the dangers of the Blackwood and the lack of power that O'Neill has. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
O'Neill and the ancestors do have on the Blackwood. Not to discount their power, but the Blackwood has a power of its own that we can't even fathom. So what I need, with all due respect, is some sort of justification for this already dangerous quest to take a shrine onto the top of Little Peak. So I ask Marianne if there's anything that O'Neill can do about the stump on my neck where the branch grew out from the collar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me take a look at his character sheet really quick, because this is a guy I actually have a character sheet for.
Didn't we get those fixed?
I got cut off, but I didn't let you guys. That's it. There's still a stump there.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I had mine fixed in high hall.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think I did.
No, I remember you were stubborn. You just wanted it cut off. Okay, so powers. Yeah, so he says, "Oh, my brother, I am only too happy to help you with this. Is it the result of an elven curse?"
Yes.
Ah, the light of Aruniel shines upon all things, my brother. When the sun rises, I will remove this stump from your neck. I promise you this. But it will not be me in truth. I will pray to the supplicants, and the supplicants will request a gift from Aruniel up on high, and he may in his wisdom bestow it down upon us.
I look forward to seeing it happen.
Yes,
In
of
all
course.
seriousness.
Yes, of course, of course. So does anybody have anything else they want to do tonight, or are we good to fast forward to the morning?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So we will fast forward to the morning, but we are also at about the halfway point tonight. So let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break, and then we'll rejoin in the daytime, and we'll take care of this here stump. Alex, did you have a question? Oh, yeah. So Sir Faulkner wants to know how many hirelings he hired for caravan guard supplements, right? Yeah. So it's 50 silver per guard per session. So it's
I thought
however
it was
many.
converts to go to his village.
Oh, I think that was a different thing for me. I thought, okay, so hirelings, it's 50 silver per person, like I said, so you can hire as many as you want. And then, okay, 10 is fine. And then for the people that you convince to go to the village, it's not that you've convinced them, but you've planted the seed in their head. So you'll need to do another thing, another persuasion check later on to actually like seal the deal. Yeah, why not? Lady Iron is in there. So she's having a reunion with Celebrant Marianne too. Not unless it's on your equipment list.
Man, I brought some of those. I'm gonna there's errants, and I'm gonna go give them more arms.
Okay. So then I think if they're well outfitted, then we should probably say that they're like 100 or maybe even 125 per, just because bucklers and kettle helms are expensive.
I mean, can I buy some of those from Faulkner then?
Sure, yeah. I'll be right back. You guys can work that out.
Okay.
But
what is the price list on those? I don't remember.
Here, I'll put the reference document in the chat feed here.
Don't worry about it, I got it.
You know how much they cost?
I can find it, but I'll pay for it.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay. But like I said, I'll be right back.
Hey, Derek, in his almost drunken state, he's just gonna give you a kettle helm and a buckler. Whatever, man, just take it.
Okay. You had those though? Like, I'm not trying to circumvent the rules.
I'm
I
a
just
noble,
want
I've got money, I'm gonna be fine.
I'm a real noble. I've got more money. I'll be excellent.
True story to that.
You guys are like Jan's divorced parents. You're trying to one-up each other.
Yeah, but he's
Jan,
gonna
love
win.
me more. Jan, love me more.
You don't want Jan's love.
Yes, I do.
If only Nimble Barpa had.
Self-burn.
And she ran off with breasts. Or maybe it's the other way around.
We'll never know. Do you have the stats for the stuff you want?
Yeah, they're in the reference document Eli just sent.
Okay. You can assume you would have got them before we left the town. Like before we left High Hall.
Cool.
Eli, how much time do I have?
Now, probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay, question for you. Is getting to Little Peak actually something that might happen tonight?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Eli, can I fluff the money that I'm going to get when the sun comes up as just money that I brought with me?
Sure, yeah. Wait, no, sorry. That's current income, so it's like building in your vault, but you can't actually add it to your deal. Mainly just because I don't want you to have an additional 1,300 gold right now.
Hey, don't cheat me out of it. 1,370.
Yeah, right, yeah. 1,370, you're right.
All right, I now feel protected.
Good.
Hey, how much did that cost so I can lower it out of my income?
How much did what cost?
The kettle helm and the
Those are things
buckler
I
I
already
gave him.
had. Those I didn't
Yeah.
buy for you. I already had those.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I gave them to Jan already.
never mind.
Yeah, I
You
think
do have an extra 300 from the stuff that I bought for the feast from you, though.
No, that's not accurate. That was something I was trying to describe earlier. So his income is represented by the food, and you took some of the food, so you diminished his
Okay.
income. So you just paid him back for that,
Yeah, but that's income he gets that I lose.
which really just means that that income for him changes from food to coin. It doesn't add
Okay.
or subtract.
Got it. Mm.
Right, but that means I actually have 300 silver on hand as opposed to a theoretical 300 silver.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. Man, I'm loving the look of these overlays. Good
I
work,
would
Jeremy.
say that Jeremy was a saint, but saints never made something so beautiful.
That's true.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad that y'all like them. So we just finished up Stranger Things last night.
Oh man, I love that show
It was
so much.
so good.
It was good. I liked everything about it except Winona Ryder. She was thoroughly average.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Stuff I was hearing was talking about how it's such a great comeback for her.
Yeah, but I mean, she's only got like one note that she hits the entire series. She's always just this weepy mess.
Isn't that her entire characters that she's always ever played?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of the thing. She's sort of a one-note actress. It might be a different note show to show, but
Who are you talking about?
Winona Ryder.
She's terrible.
Oh yeah, you liked Stranger Things, didn't you?
Yeah, I
Whatever
like-
she is bad.
I like Stranger Things, and I like Winona Ryder just fine, but she's not a good actor.
Right.
I haven't
It's
watched
funny
it
because
yet. I
she-
haven't watched it yet.
she did an okay job, but she got upstaged by every single one of the child actors.
Oh man, they were
In
so
the show.
good.
The kids were great.
Yeah, especially
11
that girl. Man.
11 was great. She's really good. No,
I was-
Winona,
I was telling my wife as we were watching, I was like, man, I hope this girl keeps her nose clean for the next 10 years. Like
Yeah,
as she's
right.
going through her teenage years, because
Yeah.
that's usually what makes or breaks child actors.
yeah. And she's good enough that she could go places. It's
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
It's funny because you see Winona Ryder crying and you're just like, oh, Winona, oh, good job, good job.
Nice try. You're trying.
You're doing fine, but good job.
Wow. Actors are harsh on other actors.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Criminal Writer. What else does she be in? Anything I've ever heard of?
Heathers, Beetlejuice.
Star Trek.
Edward Scissorhands.
Winona Ryder was in Star Trek?
She's Spock's mom.
Oh yeah, the movie. Okay, I remember.
Oh wow.
Okay, out of all of those, I've seen Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
She's like the main person in Beetlejuice besides Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Delia.
Lydia.
Lydia, yeah.
You haven't seen Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah, seriously?
I don't watch movies or television. I just read books and play video games.
You know,
Movies
I
are
haven't
best.
seen Edward Scissorhands either. I've seen most of it, but not ever sat down and watched the whole thing.
It's really
If it's
funny.
if it's not on Netflix, I have no way to watch it legally, so I don't watch it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so we're all back, so let's go ahead and resume.
Cool.
You all passed the night. If you continue to drink a lot, then go ahead and make another vigor check for me to see if you guys are hungover. But
Yo.
if you
much is a
continue
lot?
at the same pace, or if you stop drinking, then no need to roll.
2.
All right, Warren, you have a level of fatigue. So for the next hour of in-game time, you have a -1 to your rolls.
Eli, do I have to make a what was it? A vigor check or a spirit check?
Yeah, you had some nightmares last night, so go ahead and make a vigor check for me, because there is kind of a darkness in this place.
Yeah, seriously.
When Jan's out in the wilderness, he's more professional, so he stops drinking.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. It would be inappropriate if anything else happened.
His
What?
soul
Why-
actually cut me off after a while.
Okay,
How
wait, no,
responsible.
I'm going to make persuasion checks against these guys. They need to have more to drink.
Wait, I'm sorry. So who's drunk and who's not? Or who's
Damn.
hungover and who's not?
Warren, for sure.
I got a 3 on my persuasion check, so not very good.
Okay, so you was drunk and persuading. Eggle, you got an 11, so you did not get drunk. But you got an 11 on your rigor check. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
continued to have nightmares, and they were even worse this time. You know, like it wasn't just you being in this dark area with some fog and feeling like there was something behind you. At one point, you had the feeling that something was behind you, but you weren't going to be tricked. And then all of a sudden, you saw fingers enter the corner of your vision, right? Just for a split second. And you turn around and there was nothing there. And then you look back and whoosh, there was a hand that just like reached out at you and then disappeared.
Okay.
It's creeping closer.
I grab
So-
the horn.
You wake up and you're clutching the horn and you realize that first of all, you were asleep. It was just a dream. Second of all, it's time to do this thing with Celebrant Marion. And third of all, you are holding the horn. Okay, so eventually everybody gets up. They kind of rouse themselves. Warren probably grumbles more than anyone else.
When Jan sees Warren, he walks up to him, gives him a hearty slap on the back, and says, "Great feast last night!" Just really loud in his ear.
Awesome.
Wait, hold on. You know what this needs? More wine.
Hair of the dog.
Nah.
Not my dog.
You like, can I
Oh,
pay somebody to
God,
rouse
you
me
got the
for me?
drunken Benny.
What did you say, Sir Faulkner?
I said, can I pay somebody to rouse me for me? That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 200 silver.
Fuck, I'll rouse myself.
Jan, you know what? Everybody gets a Benny for this last scene. I think everybody did a great job. And then Jan, you get an extra one because that was a nice little line you just dropped. All right. Okay, so
The rule is only 6, though, right?
8, I think, is the max that I wanted to give.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys all roused, and there's fill for you. It's really just bread and whatever you've got on your own wagon that you're willing to use, or leftovers from last night, or what have you.
So anything in the world that I could ever want. Got it.
Yeah, basically. And so then Celebrant Marion comes over to you and says, my brothers, welcome back to the waking life. Did you all sleep well?
Like the dead.
Oh, very nice. Like your ancestors.
Amen to that.
Hey!
I hear that when the thunder rolls in the heavens, it is really just all of the ancestors fell asleep at the same time and they are snoring.
Darker
Oh, that's
wanders
funny.
over to Jan and he whispers, "It's too early for this shit," and he wanders off into the woods.
What are you doing out there?
I assume he's making water.
Yep.
I assume he's making out with the soul.
Ooh, you were really quiet just now, though, Charlie. I don't know what that was.
I was really quiet.
Yeah,
Can't
you were
hear
still
you.
really quiet.
What about now?
Yeah,
Nope.
still really quiet.
Alright, so Charlie doesn't get to talk anymore. That sucks.
Oh, that's sad.
He's definitely going pee.
Well, while you're figuring it out, yeah. So brother or celebrant Marian, he
Time to
gathers
do it.
anyone around who is interested in taking part in this ritual, but especially Eggle because it's his deal. He comes up to you and he says, "My brother, are you ready to be rid of this foul elf mark?"
More than ever.
All right, my brother. Well, come and heed the power of Arunial. Behold, where the sun rises, and the sun is over the horizon just a little bit. And he says, "Now, here is my symbol of Arunial." And he holds up a glass pendant that's full of colored glass. And he puts it between you and the sun so that it's shining down on this stump. And he says, "O supplicants who have been so good to me in the past and have worked so mightily in the effort of bringing all of Arunial's children together. Here, I ask that you please concede on my behalf to Arunial who sits in the sun, and to cleanse this man of his awful affliction that the elves
Did
have
you ask to conceive this man?
Well, I don't
I'm
think concede
confused.
was the right word either, though. He
He's
said words,
whispering
okay?
this quietly to somebody else.
Yeah.
He's hard to understand with that accent.
At any rate, he is going to start kind of muttering in his Widelander tongue. And he got... Okay, so he's muttering, right? And you can see that his face kind of screws up an even deeper concentration. I'm going to spend one of my bennies. And he redoubles his efforts praying. And it's still not working, so I'm going to spend another benny. And he finally manages to find a peace in his incantation, right? He comes to calmness, and he finally opens his eyes, and he's got confidence in his eyes, and he shines this light down. And Eggle, you can feel it's not like a burning, but it's warm, and then there's a little bit of a tingling, and then there's a little bit of a tickle, and all of a sudden, you have a huge crick in your neck because you realize that your neck has been slightly off kilter for 2 months at this point. And Arunial says, "Oh, let me fix that up right now. Hold on, brother." And he grabs your head and he goes, and all of a sudden the kink is gone, and you feel, and again, the branch is gone too. The whole stump is totally missing from your neck.
We should head for the mountain now.
Head to the mountain? Okay. Yeah, you're still really quiet. What's going on
I
there?
don't know. I just unplugged my microphone and plugged it back in. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave for a second.
Yeah, I can't hear a word you're saying. Oh, he dropped out. Okay, well, he might come back.
I think he quit on purpose to try and just, turn it off and turn it on again.
That makes sense. I thought I heard him say something about his mom being loud, but we'll find out. Anyway.
He didn't say anything about that.
Fair enough, whatever. So, so at this point, the celebrant looks at you and he says, "Are you ready to go to the mountaintop and to hallow this land in the name of Runiel?"
Wait, why are we doing that again? I mean, I know I was a little bit drunk, but I don't remember agreeing to this.
I heard promises of killing elves.
Well, I think we can drive the elves away without ever having to kill them.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, we don't have to fight them and they'll just go away. That This is a
I'm
smart
offering-
man.
I'm offering him a sideways glance. I think you've confused elves with something else. Something nice and peaceful, like bears.
Bears. Wait. Oh, is this another one of those woodland jokes that I hear? It's so funny.
Hey, what about now?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better.
Okay, it's my microphone.
Still not as loud as you were originally, but it's louder than when it was really bad.
I've got different headphones on now. I have to replace the cord in my microphone. But okay, so you can hear me though, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
All right, so
Yeah, let's go to the mountain.
the celebrant, he says, "Come to my cottage with me," and then whenever you get there, he pulls out this shrine it's got a wooden base, so it's not light, right? It's maybe like a foot in diameter, sort of like the obelisk, but instead of it being made out of stone, it's just the base is made out of stone, and then the rest of it is just this frame, this metal frame where this glass has been set, and it's colored shades of red and orange and yellow, and it's in the shape of the unified symbol, which is kind of a stylized sunburst. And he says, all you must do is go to Little Peak, climb to the top of it, and he hands you a scroll, and he says, say this prayer in the name of Arunial, and the land will be blessed.
You're not coming with us?
Well, no, I am aging, sir. You know how old Guntram was, and he was an even younger man than I am.
I don't know if I can do it.
But
Sure we can! We got this.
Do you not believe in Arunial's power?
I do, but I don't know if I'm as spiritual as you are. If I am powerful enough to do it.
Well, is there a unified among you?
I said, wait, so, hold on, but our ancestors can do this, right? Because I heard there's some kind of connection between our ancestors and L'Oreal.
Yes, in fact, you caught my joke. You can have a penny for that.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So you. Sorry, Eggle. What was your question? You wanted to. You didn't think you were.
I'm not confident. Like I know I'm the most spiritual one out of everyone in our party, but I thought Marion was coming with us, and I'm honestly scared that he's not coming. I don't
Gotcha.
know.
And then Sir Faulkner mentioned the ancestors. And so Marion kind of looks between the two of you as he's talking, and he says, well, you know, the ancestors, as I have said, are supplicants to Arunial. So if you were to ask your ancestors to intercede and to beg Arunial for his intercession, then I think it would work just as well.
Well, Faulkner reaches under his shirt and grabs his beads, which are still completely hidden, but he grabs them and says, well, I think if we work together, we can do it.
We'll be fine.
Shut up, you're drunk.
I'm not drunk anymore.
You seem drunk to me.
Now he's just tipsy. He was drunk, and then he was hungover, and now he's tipsy.
But
Not still hungover.
He's at his baseline.
but still overconfident.
Absolutely. Yeah, and actually you can have a benefit.
Oh, I guess he also, knows that he probably has more connections to his ancestors than anyone else here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey!
I'm not even going to debate that because I'm sorry. That's a no.
Oh, I'm sorry. How many of you have ancestors that give you weapons?
What do you call my ancestor beads?
My ancestors caused the plants to reach out and grab things.
Nah. Well,
My ancestors are awesome.
so, overconfident as shit. I got you all beat. Let's go. We got this.
All right, so then.
It's also a chance to kill those
you are
goddamn elves.
This fool will be our undoing.
So the celebrant wishes you well and points you in the right direction. It's out east of the village through the forest. It's daytime, so you don't have to worry about like the Blackwood being just crazy by default. And so you head out through the woods, and you are making your way. I'm going to need a survival check from somebody to avoid wilderness on the way,
I'll do
and
that.
I'm going to need a tracking check from someone too.
I'll do that.
It can't be the same person for both.
That
What are
sucks
we
for people.
tracking?
Does anyone else have survival or tracking?
Darkwood's got to
I-
have tracking or something.
My dog's got tracking, I'm sure.
I've got an.
I've got survival 6, but
I don't want to get into wilderness, so I'm going to take that one.
You're going to do survival?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have tracking?
no.
Does my dog have tracking?
No.
It's a bloodhound.
Why can't I do both?
I do not.
Because it takes all of your energy to do the survival. Tracking is like
Just do the
something-
tracking and let Eggle do the survival.
Okay, if we end up in wilderness, though.
I guess you could do both with a
Consider-
-2 penalty. It'd be considered
Alright.
a multi-action.
I'm rolling.
I'm okay with that. No, I want to.
Hagel already checked.
I get a +2 bonus on those.
9.
For tracking?
Yeah, no, for survival.
For survival, okay. So then, Jan,
Okay.
you can do the...
8.
you got an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so 9 for tracking and 8 for survival. So
No, reverse
as
it.
you're...
Reverse it.
Reverse
9
it.
for survival.
9 for survival and 8 for tracking. Gotcha. So yeah, you guys are kind of walking along, and you manage to not only avoid wilderness, but Eggle, you find a shortcut as you're going, and you start to walk up the trail, and then Jan, as you're going along the trail, you notice that there are footprints that are around this area too, and they're not like bare footprints like a pagan would have. They're booted.
Okay, I thought you meant like bear paw prints.
No, no.
Okay.
Barefoot.
Does it have bare feet?
Yeah.
You made
Barefoot
a bear!
prints.
Undo it! Undo it!
But yeah, so you do notice that they're booted feet, and actually you got a well enough roll on your tracking check that you can tell these are not just like simple hunter boot prints. They're like nice boots.
Jan points that out to everyone. Actually, he goes up to Faulkner and looks down at his leg, grabs his leg, and pulls off his boot to go compare it to these boot prints on the ground.
Faulkner actually has regular boots. He doesn't dress fancy at all.
Okay. Well, he'll do that to Warren then.
Yeah, Warren's got nice boots.
All right. Yeah, they look very similar. Probably not the same. Probably not the same. Shoe guy. What are they called? Cobblers.
Then he'll take it back to Warren and say, "Do you know these people?"
Jan logic.
I'll take a look at the boot. Can I make a streetwise check to try and recognize the print?
Mm-hmm. It'll be at a -4, but yes.
That would be a -3.
-3? Yeah, you've never noted. You're not placing these at all. You've never seen boot prints like
Okay.
these. Yeah, but nonetheless, you're hiking up this mountain. It's a fairly steep slope.
At that, Jan will make sure his bow is out and will be vigilant in looking for these people.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and so
Warren
you're.
will be hungover.
Yeah, although it does take a couple of hours to get out there, so your hangover would have cleared by now. But you're in that phase where you're not quite hungover anymore. But you're like,
still drinking.
I'm not feeling normal yet. Like I'm out of the woods, but I'm not. Out of fire, as it were.
but we're not out of the woods.
You're in fact in the woods. And it's worth saying too that from what you could see on this mountain as you were approaching, there isn't a place where there's it's not substantially above the tree line. There's like a rocky outcropping on the top, but it's relatively small. It's mostly a forested mountain.
So there's no real inversion layer? That's okay.
Inversion?
Inversion. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure that's a term. I'll look it up later.
Mm.
But yeah. So we will go ahead and continue our path up the mountain, and everybody make a notice check for me.
Okay, would Jan be able to tell how many treks, like how many people there are from the treks?
It looks like there are several. With the rays, you can tell that it's in between 5 and 10.
Okay. And we're doing notice?
And this is a site-based notice, so your hearing check doesn't matter.
Hey, Eli, does my dog get to make a notice check?
I was under the impression that your dog was for flavor. Did you actually spend any money on him?
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on him.
Okay, then yeah, you can give him 1 skill at D6. It can be tracking or notice, whichever you prefer.
I was reading up the article on dogs, so they have a D10 in notice.
Yeah, that's fine, whatever.
Your dog is mentally challenged.
Oh!
Hey, my dog is specially bred to be a really
Hey.
good tracker, but apparently he's not good at that, so he's good at noticing.
If your dog gets a D10,
If your dog is specially bred, he is quote unquote special.
if he gets a D10, then Mutt gets like a D20.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, he just never ever tells anybody what he found.
But it doesn't matter, because I rolled higher than my dog anyways. What's 8 plus 7?
8
million.
plus 7 is 15. That's crazy.
Yay, Eli can math.
Yay! So that's a success with 3 raises. All right.
I rolled the wrong die.
I
I looked over at notice and looked down at persuasion. I have a D4 in notice. I gotta reroll.
All right. So everyone who succeeded, as you're walking up this mountain, you're looking, and like the trail is really kind of relatively clear because it's winter time. It's a lot of conifers in this part of the Blackwood, but there are some deciduous trees. And so it's brighter, first of all, than it usually is, like in high summer, because there's not as much leaf cover. And then also, it's just a little bit thinner in this area as you're walking up. Like, wilderness is nowhere near. And so you can see fairly
God,
far.
It's fucking cold, isn't it?
Oh, it is cold, though. It is absolutely cold.
Mother. Why
yeah, and you know what?
do we
Actually,
do this?
There's a chance that you guys will have to make...
Steak.
There's a chance that you guys will have to make vigor rolls for environmental stuff. Actually, Eggle, your horn is really especially cold out here. It's not keeping you warm at all. You might believe it's keeping you warm. Like,
What
you
about
might tell
the-
yourself.
I feel like I would. Maybe I'm like physically cold, but I feel like I feel warm.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it would be a placebo, but maybe it's an effective placebo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, Eli, I knew it was gonna be winter, right? So, being rich, I have a heavy fur coat, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's 100 silver.
That's fine. What was that? No money at all? Got it.
You can subtract it from your income because it would have been something you would have bought ahead of time.
I have a boar pelt that I've draped over my back.
That's true, yeah, and that's actually established, so good for you.
If I get too cold, I'll set the forest on fire.
But you guys all made notice checks. And so ahead of you, the trail just continues up the mountain. But you notice that there's a trail that goes off to the side. And anybody who got a raise notices not only that this trail goes off to the side, but it looks like maybe 100 feet off to your left, there's like a cave over there. There's definitely a rock overhang, and it looks pretty dark underneath. And then, Sir Faulkner, you got 3 raises, right?
No, I rolled the wrong die because I was drunk. My dog got 2 raises, though.
Okay. What did you get anything?
I got a 5.
Okay, so that's at least a success. So you see the trail. The dog got 2 raises, so the dog immediately, like as you guys are looking off down the trail, the dog points, right? Because it can point, sure.
When the dog does that, Jan looks at Mutt and says, "What, you're not good enough?"
You can have a Benny for that. That's awesome. But yeah, otherwise, like you see the trail goes off to the left, but it seems clear that if you want to get to the top of the mountain, you've got to go just continuing to gain elevation. What are you guys
What
thinking?
is my dog? He points. My dog is trained, so if he points somewhere, I'm interested. I'm looking over there now. I'm zeroing in on where he's pointing.
Okay. Yeah, so you definitely notice now also that it seems to be some sort of cave over in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jan would have looked too, because he was paying attention to dogs. So he does that. And so he feels left out, because Mutt didn't notice this cave, so he looks at Mutt and says, Go see what's in there.
So Mutt scampers
And
off.
Gibson runs in that direction because he doesn't know about Mutt, or she doesn't know about Mutt.
And so Mutt and Gifson gamble off together through the forest. Mutt disappears in some underbrush, and Gifson, you can still see him kind of like wandering down the trail area.
Gibson is
a female.
Yeah.
She. Yes.
You got confused because it has a beard, but don't worry. All of those dogs have beards, even the ladies.
Just like dwarves.
Just like dwarves.
Okay. So, Gibson eventually comes back and like barks, but it's kind of hard to interpret what Gibson is trying to get you to do.
Hold on, I don't speak Doggish. Does anyone speak Doggish?
Mutt does.
Alright, Mutt.
Harsh.
Wait, who's Mutt?
Mutt didn't come back.
Yeah,
Regardless,
Mutt's still over there. You can hear him barking though.
I go where Gibson tells me to go because Gibson is a trained dog and I trust her.
Okay.
We need to
so you're
climb.
going-
That's all I know is we need to climb.
Eggle wants to climb. Are you guys splitting up?
We need to get to the top of the mountain.
To the top of the mountain.
Who's
Well,
carrying
Gibson
the
spots
shrine?
something.
I'm carrying the shrine.
Go ahead and make a vigor check for me then.
Fine. 5.
5? Yeah, then you're good. It's heavy, but you've been managing it well.
Did we not get a mook to carry the shrine?
I
I've
suppose,
got
yeah.
10 mooks.
That's fine.
Does anyone want a mook? I've got 10 of them.
Did we bring mooks?
On the caravan, for sure. You probably wanted to leave at least some of them back guarding the caravan while you guys are gallivanting through the woods.
We left Iron Ladle and Lady Iron back up there.
Lady
Sounds
Iron is there?
Yeah.
Aww.
So you
Man,
guys
you're
are.
really drunk in real life.
Oh, I am.
So you guys are. How many? Would you have all 8 of the remaining guards that are available with you, or would you want?
No,
to
we just
some
need
more?
one person to carry the goddamn thing so we don't have to.
I'll
Okay.
bring
I'm-
6 because
no,
I don't go
I-
anywhere by myself, and I don't know these peasants. They might not
No.
be able to defend me.
I
Okay.
want to carry the shrine. I'm carrying the shrine.
Okay.
Oh, come
that's
on,
fine.
Sir Faulkner, aren't you brave? You don't need your,
No. I just need witnesses for my glory. You misunderstand.
Excellent. I love that idea. That is brilliant.
Well, I imagine we probably did not bring the carts with us.
No, not at all. This would have been a foot journey for sure.
So we probably at least would have left some of the
We
mooks
could have if
back
we wanted
behind
to,
guard
but
that
we want
stuff.
them to help the village.
Right.
Yeah.
I
We're
left
building
4.
my tiered garden plan.
Yeah. So there are 4 guards that were left back at the caravan, and they were given instructions to watch the caravan, but also to start building the tiered farming platforms. We can guess which orders they took seriously.
From the ones who are paying
I guess that
probably.
depends. I guess that depends on how much they want their paychecks.
Lady Iron does not want her paycheck that badly. She too is a noble. The other 3
Lady Iron
might.
is in it. I thought Lady Iron was in the village.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gave them orders to build the tiered farming thing.
Yeah, but
because they
no,
were-
she was just in the village when we got there. She's not part of the
Oh,
caravan.
no. She is part of the caravan.
Oh, whatever. I don't know who she
But
is.
anyway.
Mm.
Yeah. So anyway, who all is going to the cave and who all is continuing up the mountain?
Up the mountain.
Mountain.
Jan won't leave Mutt, so...
All right, splitting the party. Darkhood, what about you?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. He's going to call after Jan. What are you doing? We're here to take this damn thing up this mountain so that we can get back down in the village.
Well, Mutt found something, so I gotta go get him.
We'll just call him and have him follow us up the mountain. Let's just get out of here. It's damn cold.
It'll be warmer in the cave. Come on, there's something in the cave. Gifson sees something.
Well, you know what's not in the cave?
What's not in the cave?
The top of this fucking mountain.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe there's a staircase in the cave.
Or could you get a Benny? And by the way, everyone, I'm sure I probably should have said this earlier, but this is an explicit show. We have foul language. Deal with it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, fuck, we do?
Yeah, it's a real
Jeremy
shit show.
ruined the kid-friendly show.
That's me.
Whoa. Hold on. Jeremy just ruined the kid-friendly show. I seem to remember personally exterminating an entire village a couple sessions ago.
That is true, yeah.
Genocide didn't do it, but the language does.
There's been some genocide.
This is America. Violence
Fuck
is-
yeah.
Genocide's
hold on,
good,
hold
but
on.
steroids are bad.
Wait, hold on. Are we American explicit or are we English explicit? Can I say cunt?
We're Americans around here.
Oh.
That wasn't a word, though.
It's okay. We haven't had any boobies yet. It's all right.
Let's go back to the Blackwood.
Okay, yeah. So meanwhile, a group is splitting up into two people. How are you allocating these 6
Two
errands?
people.
They're all with me. Fuck those guys.
Okay, so then 8 people total are going off to the cave, and 3 people are going up the mountain, right?
Yeah. I'm headed up the mountain.
Okay.
4 people are going up the mountain.
So both groups make survival checks for me.
Wait, I'm sorry.
So I want Faulkner.
Who all is going up the mountain?
You make a survival check, John. You got this.
Yeah, Darkwood.
Okay, so we
He's
got
up
Warren,
the mountain.
Darkhood,
Darkhood,
me.
Warren, and Eggle, yeah.
bigger.
No, survival.
Survival, sorry. That's what I meant. Same die.
Well, we got a
Bennies
team.
for this?
You can use bennies, sure.
No, can we share bennies?
Oh, sure. But I think, okay, so I was thinking today, I think I might want to add a setting rule for the Blackwood where you can share bennies with each other, but only if a person would deserve, well, no, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it's just that you can
I was
nominate
only
somebody to
asking-
receive a benny.
I was only asking because we're splitting up into 2 groups, so we don't necessarily have the best person in each group to do so. It
Oh,
would
so
be
you're
more
saying like you
reliant
could
on
spend a
luck.
benny for the other group.
No, I was wondering if I could spend a benny for Eggle because we don't have Jan with us, who's the king of survival.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could definitely spend a benny for him.
I don't really need a Benny.
Yeah, but you got a 4, so you're fine.
We got a 19.
Yeah, so Jan finds a shortcut, and before you know it, Darkhood, Warren, and Jan are at a cliff face. It's about
Sorry, as I start walking that way, Mutt runs through and pops out and shows me the shortcut.
yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. Give yourself a benny for that.
I have 8.
Oh, that's right. So you're at max. So start spending bennies. Do risky things. Speaking of
I'm rolling very well tonight.
you guys find yourself at a cliff face. It's about 20 feet tall. It's not sheer vertical, but it's a pretty steep angle.
I have climbing.
Sir Faulkner, you just asked what you can base your bird off of?
Yeah, I'm looking at the bestiary. I got my dog as a dog, but I don't know what. I got a bird. I don't know what it is.
I
It's
see.
a falcon.
I assume dragon. That's the only thing I can find that flies.
Wait, hold on. I thought your father killed all the dragons. Or your uncle killed all the dragons.
No, this peasant killed all the dragons, and so we married one of the Farsbuck to his daughter, so we could poach that ancestor and get that into our ancestor beads.
Clever.
We're
Yeah,
not dumb guys.
there is like an eagle or something in there. It's not quite the right stats.
I'm
but
pretty
we'll just
sure that's
call it that for now. And then Jan and Darkhood and Warren are at this cliff face.
No, Eggle, Darkhood, Warren.
Yeah.
That's right. Jan went to the cave. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not at the cliff face.
Right. Yeah. You went to the cave. Okay. So you had a great trip to this cave. There was actually 3 different instances on the way to the cave whenever you found yourself being tempted by a little trick out in the Blackwood. One of them was this little flower that was just in the middle of nowhere, but it was a really big, brilliant, beautiful flower. Another one was as you were walking along, you heard this tinkling of water off in the distance, and you just got really thirsty all of a sudden, but you realized that was a trick too. And then the third one just almost as if it was the wind itself. You heard this music on the wind, but you knew that was a deception too. There's no way that somebody could be singing out here because they would be crazy for being this far away from the village.
You're a leaf on the wind. Watch how you soar.
Basically. So you arrive at the cave, and you see that inside the cave there is a wooden door that is painted red, and it's almost the exact shape of the cave, so it's kind of long, and it's wider than it is tall anyway. And right in the middle of the cave door there is a hole that's about the same size as like a finger. It's a round hole. So there you are, but meanwhile, Eggle, Warren, and Darkhood are at the cliff face, and you're at the base of the cliff, so you're going to have to make a climbing check to be able to climb it up.
Climbing checks. That's not going to happen.
Sorry, I was muted. First, I was going to say I have rope, and I want to use rope to tie the shrine to my around my waist. But then, can I use a rope to connect all of us for not only safety but help in climbing up the mountain?
Can I MacGyver a pulley and belay system?
Yeah. I mean, you would need to figure out a way to get it up to the top of the cliff. So what would probably work best is if somebody climbed up there and secured it, and then everybody else could get the bonus.
I could do that.
Okay. Do you want to...
Can we tie some of the rope? It might make it so we require 2 checks. But can we tie some of the rope to him so that if he falls, we can catch him with our counterweight?
Well, somebody's got to climb up there before you can put the
No. I'm saying if he's got the rope tied to him, if he was to fall and it's already tied to us, we could try and use our mass to prevent him from falling to his death.
Well, no, you're not above me. You're below me.
Yeah.
No, but if you fall, at some point you're going to reach our level, and then the rope will hit its length, and instead of falling down the mountain, you'll fall 50 feet.
But your level is the ground.
Yeah, you're at ground level. There isn't a
I thought we were on a mountain.
You are, but it's
climbing the mountain.
Yeah, it's like it's like a 45-degree angle. Or not even that really. It's more like a 60-degree angle. If he falls, he's gonna hit the ground, maybe slide a little bit, but he's not gonna continue to fall.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling.
Okay, so it'll be climbing. And
well, in the meantime, while you guys were arguing, Darkhood already scaled up the mountain. I can see it.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so Darkhood spent a penny and got up there. How many do you have at this point, Darkhood?
1 less from what it shows.
Okay, 3. Gotcha. Cool. So, yeah, you managed to climb right up. Eggle
with a gimp leg.
Yeah. You used it as like a hook. You just...
Exactly.
And then Eggle, you managed to climb up, but it wasn't quite as quick as Darkhood, which is maybe a little embarrassing.
Well, I'm holding the shrine.
You're still, even though we're going to set this pulley, you're still going to carry the shrine up yourself.
It's fucking heavy.
In that case, then it's a -2 to your check if you're going to climb with the shrine. So you didn't actually pass if all you rolled was a 5.
Well, then I'm using a Benny.
Okay.
Beware of failing climbing checks, because I will just have you fall down a waterfall and you'll be gone.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I tried to set up a pulley system, but no.
That's too slow.
Because I too remembered.
What was your result?
8.
8? Okay, yeah. So then you succeed, and that was including the -2?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, then you managed to climb up there with the shrine, and then you guys, and the pulley for that matter, and then you guys set the pulley, and you hoist Free Lord May up. This was secretly his plan all along, I'm sure. You lazy noble. But yeah, you get to the top of the mountain, and you can see that
I'm not going to deny it.
You can see that it's fairly level, and you can see that there are rocks that are kind of all around, but there's one boulder in particular kind of off in one area of the plateau that's the biggest boulder of all of them. It's probably about 7 feet tall, and that seems like the highest spot on the mountain. And meanwhile, back down at the door, you guys are looking at this door in this cave.
Hey, Jan, my friend, what do you see on the other side of that door?
Jan looks around for the footprints.
Yeah, you do see footprints down here. It looks like the tracks probably lead to this area.
Then he'll take his finger and kind of give a hush sign to Faulkner and indicate the footprints.
Faulkner immediately shuts the fuck up.
Okay. And then make a notice check for me, too. This will be
What?
sight-based.
Just sight.
Yeah.
11.
11? Okay, yeah. Then you are also looking around and you notice that there are some quillcrow feathers in this area, too.
So I'll look in the trees for the Quillcrows.
You don't see them anywhere.
Okay.
Did you... So I know Sir Faulkner asked what was on the other side of the door. Were you going to peek through that keyhole?
Oh, is that what it was? I didn't know it was a keyhole.
Well, I mean, it's a hole that's the size of a finger. It is either a key or something.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go carefully get up to it to look through.
Okay. You look through and you can see that there is indeed some kind of mechanism in there, but it's strange. It looks like you've heard of clockwork stuff before. There's plenty of clockwork stuff out in the world. But you've always heard of it being made out of like metal gears and stuff, whereas this is more like, it almost looks like whatever's in there is made out of wood.
What does the door look like it's made of?
The door is definitely made out of wood. Big, wide planks, and it's all painted red.
What kind of wood?
Elm. Oak. No, oak.
I mean, it's important. I'm a lumberjack.
Right, of course, yeah.
So I'll kind of back up and in motion, get a little some distance there, and motion for Faulkner and whisper to him what I see.
So it's just a door? Thanks, genius.
Jan's like, well, what did you think it was?
What's on the other side of the door?
I couldn't see. Can you see through doors? I can't.
Oh.
I'll bet you there's oxygen on the other side of that door. Probably with a high
Sir
concentration of
Faulkner
nitrogen.
He's gonna brush off his clothes and knock on the door.
Faulkner is?
Yeah, absolutely. Just knock on the door.
As he does that, Jan will invoke leaf step and try to jump up into a tree.
Okay, so do an acrobatics check for me then, or, agility.
Throwing my mouse. 9.
9? Yeah, that's a success with a raise, so you get leaf step.
So
all right then.
Yeah, I jumped into a tree with my bow drawn.
Sounds good. And meanwhile, Sir Faulkner walks up and raps on the door. And what kind of, are you doing like a heavy thud of a knock or like a little tentative thing? What do you think?
Well, I go to do a big, knock, knock, knock. Right as I go to do it, I'm like, oh, fuck, what are those mad guys? And I go, knock, knock, knock.
So you intend to do a big one, but you actually do a pretty small one.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you knock on it, and your little raps on the door, it sounds like doom, doom, doom on the other side. Like it's a really hollow, deep echo, right? And the echoes kind of ring out and then
Hold on,
fade
I have a
away.
question for you. On a scale of 1 to like a horse, how scary is it? The sound.
The sound, I'm gonna say probably a moose.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna back away from the door, terrified a little bit. I mean,
it is a little concerning. You would not expect the sound to resonate nearly as much as it did whenever you knocked.
I mean,
It was
back off the
concerning or disconcerting?
Do what?
You say it was concerning or disconcerting?
Concerning with an N.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so the knock fades away, and then we'll cut back to the mountaintop really quick. So, Freelord May, Eggle, Darkhood. Here you are on the top of the mountain. You've got the shrine. You've got everything set, or you've got everything with you anyway. What do you want to do?
I'm going to place the shrine on top of the boulder and start praying out loud.
Okay. Are you reading the prayer that's in the?
Yes, I pull out the prayer that's in there and I look at it and I read it quietly to myself.
Okay. Yeah. So let me get this prayer up and running for you, and you can even just recite it. Hopefully, I can copy and paste text from here. I think I can. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay. So here you go. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, son!
Everyone needs to stop messaging because I can't. It keeps zooming out. I confess to Marial. Damn it! I can stop putting things in the message.
Jerks.
Guilty.
I confess to Marial, the Lord of light and sound, and to you supplicants that attend him, and to you my brothers and sisters in him.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold on, wait. No, seriously. Before you read this out loud, maybe you should read it to yourself.
Just to make sure.
How much do we trust that guy?
So are you reading it to yourself then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and while you're doing it, you're noticing the horn is even colder. Like it burns. It's so cold at this point.
Okay. I read the prayer to myself, and I start to read it. All right. Can this be a thing? Can I make this like a longer thing?
A longer thing? Sure, yeah.
Okay. I confess to Marial, the Lord of light and sound, and to you supplicants that attend him. And then I stop. And I put my hand on the horn.
Mm-hmm.
And to you, my brothers and sisters in him, in what I have done and what I have failed to do. And then I stop.
And that's it? You start to feel there's a little bit of a working of magic, right? But the horn is so cold that I need you to make a vigor check for environmental cold damage.
5.
5? Yeah, then it gets cold enough that you have to drop the horn, and it tumbles to the ground, but you don't actually get hurt from it.
Okay.
Do we know how much he cares about the horn, or have you been trying to keep that from us, Agwal?
Well, you guys wanted me to sell it for a hefty amount of money, and I refused to sell it.
I don't remember that.
I've certainly been
Jan does.
and kept it by its side. Kept it
Jan's
by my
not
side
here.
the entire time.
Let's say I'm a noble and I don't actually care about that sort of nonsense. Have I noticed?
I would say he's been pretty conspicuous. I mean, just considering how many times he's mentioned it during the campaign.
I'll go ahead and try and pick it up with a, like a blanket and try and keep it safe.
Okay.
So it's not, I'm not touching it or anything. I'm not taking it from him, but I'm also trying to keep it from being damaged.
As he reaches for it, I turn to him aggressively and reach for the horn myself.
Oh, I'm not even reaching. Like I'm trying to cover it with a blanket. I'm not even trying to touch it.
No, as soon as you move for it, I reach back and I grab it again.
Okay.
All right. It's
you don't even.
really cold.
He doesn't even need to grab it. As soon as he moves to try to protect it, I'll back off.
Cool.
Hot.
Fair enough. All right, so Eggle, are you continuing the prayer or what?
And to you, my brothers and sisters in him, in what I have done and failed, and what I have failed to do, through my fault, through my grievous fault, I turned away from his light and voice. But I ask you supplicants, brothers and sisters, hear my plea. and pray with me to the Lord Marial that I have greatly sinned, and in my thoughts and in my words, to see I lift the horn to my lips,
Oh, jeez.
and I blow the horn.
Oh my God. So,
I'm really glad I didn't go with you guys.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
where are you picturing right now? Like a mental image of a place.
Okay, so that was why this was going to be a little longer. But as I'm reading the prayer, and my vision starts to black out, but I can still see the words of the prayer. They're just sort of appearing there in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly the horn starts to get it was hot before, and it starts to just get warm, and it's but at the same time it's cool, like it's refreshing, and it's also like I'm basking in it. And when I drop it, I feel weak. I feel just darkness and alone and like, yeah, exactly. And then I go, and as soon as he reaches for it, I go and I can sense that he's doing that, and I pick it up. And as I'm reading the prayer, the words start to disappear in front of my eyes. They were appearing, and now they're just fading away. And as I get to the last sentence, I realize the horn is already up close to my face. And then I say those last two words, and I go to say the next one, or I'm going to say the next ones, but they disappeared. So I let a breath out, and the breath is me blowing the horn.
Okay, so I'll need you to make another vigor check to resist cold environmental damage.
Okay.
Ben the Benny passed that check.
No, counting the one that fell on the floor, it was an 11.
11? Okay, so you resist the cold damage, but as you put it to your lips and you blow, you feel almost as if your entire body turns into ice. But it's not like a block of ice. It's like ice shards that are swept through a windstorm in the dead of winter, right? And that's what you feel, almost as if you're incredibly light but totally frozen. And Darkhood and Freelord Warren, you look at him and he raises the horn to his lips, and you see him like obviously blow on the horn, but all that you hear is this huge gust of wind, and all of a sudden Eggle is gone. He has totally disappeared. And this gust of wind is like swirling around the mountaintop and actually like is teetering the shrine on top of this boulder. How do you react?
Stupid question. Dumbfounded. What the fuck? God.
Well, I suppose that could have gone better.
Okay, can I make a luck check to have him have dropped the prayer or something like that?
You do not see the prayer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Can I make a luck check to have him have dropped the, the piece of paper? I mean, he was pretty focused on the horn.
If you want to spend a Benny, then sure he did.
Done.
That's
Benny is gone.
Game, so okay.
But the shrine falls over and breaks.
No, the shrine was placed down by Mook.
Darkhood is going to climb up to where the thing is teetering, and he's going to start putting rocks all around it to kind of help weight it in place.
Okay.
And then he's gonna turn around and make some kind of poor excuse for crossing himself, whatever the equivalent is. And
well, I'm going to ask Darkhood if he has any real connection to his ancestors.
No, I don't even know who my father was.
Did you guys have an errant that came, or a hireling that came with you?
He was carrying the shrine.
No, Eggle was carrying the shrine.
Well, then no, I guess we don't. Okay, I guess that leaves it up to me.
All right, well, we're going to cut back down to the door at this point. So, you guys are at the door. This hollow knock rings out, right? And then on the inside, you hear a voice. Who goes there?
Sir Faulkner the Brave!
Sir Faulkner? The Brave, eh? Oh, brave.
And then there's silence for a little while. Eggle, whenever you blew the horn, No, he does not. He sounds younger than the caller that you saw in the forest. The caller was kind of an indeterminate age, whereas this sounds much more like a childlike voice. Eggle, whenever
I
you blew
missed
the
out
horn,
on killing an elf. I'm gonna be pissed.
whenever you blew the horn, an image of a place flashed before your mind. What place was this? It has to be in the real world. It can't be like your dream space or anything.
Okay.
What if his dream face is in the real world somewhere?
It was okay. Can it be in the real world but in a different time?
No. Although, like, what are you trying to think of right now?
I'm trying to think of a point of Eggle's home village, but at a moment in the past.
Okay. Yeah, then you feel this incredible lightness and this sense of being swept up, and all of a sudden, the sight before you goes completely dark for like 2 seconds, and then the wind clears the darkness away, and you are standing in your home village. It's the dead of winter, just like it was where you left, but you are surrounded by very familiar cottages. There's even like a person who looks at you and recognizes you. And meanwhile, back at the door, after this laughter dies down, you all of a sudden hear this huge gust of wind come down the mountain, right? And it blows for like 3 or 4 seconds, and then all is quiet. And then when you look, the door latches. And it creeps open just a couple of inches, and it's dark inside.
Vibrating intensifies.
Jan, I assume you're still up sniping in a tree?
Yeah, I mean, can I like make a stealth hide check? I don't know. I don't want to be seen.
Don't you have an
Yeah,
axe?
go ahead and make a stealth.
How are you going to snipe with a melee weapon?
I also have a bow.
Yeah, Jan's got a bow.
Lame.
You said make a stealth?
Mm-hmm. And then Faulkner, you're just scared at the door still?
Question, was it a male voice or a female voice?
He's not scared.
It was a
He's
child.
cautiously brave.
What is it? But was it a male child or a female child?
You couldn't tell.
Sexist bastard.
What if I listen really hard? Could I tell?
Give me a notice check hearing. It'll be at a -2.
That's fine. I'm gonna totally make this. Just watch.
I got a 6.
6 on your stealth? Okay.
0 passes, right? That's what we're aiming for, is 0?
No.
I'm gonna spend one of my
It's
bennies.
a transgendered boy girl from a different country.
Haha! Well, 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 makes it. Is it a boy or a girl?
You can't tell.
God damn it.
And and you know out of character that is the correct answer.
Ah, okay. I say, are you okay up here living all alone?
I don't live alone. The 7 lords live here with me.
Oh, could I talk to one of them, maybe?
Oh, they are gone now. They don't live here in the daytime.
You're confusing me. You're confusing. So
At
they're
night.
gone? Where are they?
When the sun falls, they return, and they sit at table and they feast. They feast, and the door creaks open a little more. Please come. You can feast while they are away.
Vibration intensifies again. What do they feast on exactly?
Oh, the finest foods, the greatest, most subtle wines. You must taste. You must taste. Come in. Come in.
Oh,
I
it's
don't
really
like
a good thing
wine.
I'm not there.
You don't like wine?
No, he doesn't like wine.
There's a moment of silence, and you hear behind the door, wine, 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 spirits, spirits, spirits. Oh, beer, 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 dark, 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 dark. We have dark beer. We have dark beer. Come inside for dark beer and good food, warm meats.
hearty fruits and berries.
Can I make a knowledge roll check to see if this is definitely bad?
Yeah. And you
Good.
get a +2 to it.
Good. Well, my 6 exploded. And you got a 4, so that's
Jan doesn't
12.
need to make a check. Jan knows this is bad.
12. How bad do I think this is?
This is an elf, and elves like to eat people.
Okay, and that's what I am, right?
You are a person, yes.
So it would like to
Wow! I think you should make a check for that.
That is kind of presumptuous.
eat me.
Yeah,
If I am following correctly, this elf then wants to eat me.
that is what you would guess.
I say, no, why don't you come out here? It's really nice out
Faulkner,
here.
you would know from our other encounters with elves, they don't like being set on fire.
Would he know that? I know that.
Oh,
I'm
we would have
fire.
told him that on our, we like telling stories. It's a thing of the Blackwood.
And I'm not an idiot. I know they don't like fire or salt. Come on,
Okay.
everyone knows that.
I assume
blood.
Faulkner has several salt shakers on him then.
Oh, dude, this left pouch that you might think is full of something else, it's not full of that other thing you thought it was. It's just salt.
Meanwhile, in Eggel's village,
Beer.
Eggel, here you find yourself standing in the middle of your village. How do you react?
Well, honestly, I'm completely stunned. Almost paralyzed. It depends on who I see.
Isn't there a figure that still lives there that knows you? Like a specific character as opposed to just the villagers in general knowing you?
The classist, the
Classicist? Yeah.
the drunk classicist would have known me.
That's right. So he looks over and he says, Eggel?
I'm drunk!
What are you doing here? Am I seeing things again? I gotta lay off that hooch.
Where am I? What? What? Would I ask like what year is it, or would I ask like what day is it?
There's a
What
Back
day
to the
is it?
Future movie?
What
Crystal
day is
Pepsi?
it?
What year is it?
It's a fourth day of the dead of winter.
How?
What day is it for you?
Is it not the? It is. It's the fourth day of the day of winter. Dead of winter. Oh shit. What's up? I don't know what to ask. I don't know what to do. I don't know what he would do. He'd just be shocked. Am I still holding the horn?
Absolutely, yeah. And in fact, the classicist looks at you and says, wait a second. That's a fancy horn you got there. It's all black and it's got spikes on it.
Spikes!
Do you know what this is?
Are you telling me we could have been hitting people with that thing this entire time?
Well, they're little spikes.
No, lame.
Accent spikes. Yeah, so Eggel, he doesn't recognize it. He walks up to it and he says, that looks like something bad. I don't think I want to touch that. Do I want to touch you? Maybe you're bad. Where have you been?
Where is my mother?
The
Mother.
horn, Trebek!
She went over that way. Probably at home baking some bread. For the
All right. I would go towards her house.
Okay, so that happens, and meanwhile, back on the mountaintop, so Warren is down on the ground at the foot of the boulder, and Darkhood is up on top of the boulder, stabilizing the shrine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Warren has the prayer in hand?
Yep.
Okay, so then are you going to try and say the prayer yourself?
I am.
All right, so we don't need to actually recite it again.
Before I do, I will activate my sword.
Okay, sounds good. So go ahead and activate the sword, and then you'll make a spirit check to conduct the prayer as like a magic thing.
Straight up spirit or spirit -2?
Spirit, it would be -2, but we're going to say that because you have your ancestral sword out and ready to go, that you actually neutralize that -2.
Okay.
And for the record, Eggle, you would have made a spirit check too, but you blew the horn right before you were supposed to make one, so you have another thing going on.
Yes, I do.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So it took 3 bennies because I wanted a raise on this.
Ah, okay.
I wanted an explosion, but I got a 15.
Okay. So you guys are up at the top of the mountain, and you see it's kind of an overcast morning, right? The sun is out, and it's bright, but it's not shining all over everything. And the sun like breaks, the clouds break, and there's a ray of sun that comes through and hits this shrine. And instead of the light hitting the shrine and shining through to the other side, it's like the shrine absorbs the light and it casts it in every direction. So there's this scintillating dance of little flecks of red and yellow and orange light that scatters all over the top of this mountain. And it kind of moves around in a circle, and the clouds part a little more, and the beam of light is no longer just on the shrine, but it kind of spreads to be all over the top of the mountain. And then it even spreads further than that. And it's not like the clouds are clearing, it's just like the light is, the band of light is expanding from this relatively narrow spot in the clouds. And you see that the shadows on the forest below kind of start to clear away. You see that the shadows eventually almost come to touch the village itself. And then, back at the cave door, you guys heard that gust of wind that came down the mountaintop not too long ago. And this little, what you suspect to be an elf, is trying to entice you inside this door, right? But then, all of a sudden, you notice that, well, and I guess Jan would notice this more than Franz, or Faulkner, since Faulkner is inside the cave, which is, there's maybe like.
Whoa! I didn't go inside the cave.
Well, what I'm saying is that the door is about 20 feet inside the entrance of the cave, but it's not like you're in a narrow space. The cave is really more of an overhang until you get to the door, and then the door is the start of the cave proper.
Okay, I just want to clarify. I didn't go through the door though.
Right. Yeah. You're under about 20 feet of underhang, but you're on the good side of the door at this point. And as you're hearing that, the elf on the other side is like, "Yes, you must come inside. You must." Oh, no! And then you just hear like the sounds of a tantrum on the other side.
Okay, I won't come inside. Sorry.
No!
And then you hear this caw inside, and the caw fades away. And then all of a sudden there's silence.
Take that, you little bitch.
And Jan, you notice that as this caw is happening and as this tantrum is being thrown down below, it's getting steadily brighter around where you're at up in the treetop. Like the sky is starting to clear and the sun is coming out.
But there's nothing up in the sky that I can see?
No, in fact, it still looks fairly overcast. It seems strange that it's this bright.
I will stay hidden, though.
Okay. And then, Sir Faulkner, are you doing anything in particular outside this door, or are you just cowering?
Cowering? I think you mean stoically waiting.
Yes,
He's not
of course.
cowering. It wouldn't be proper to enter a lady's home without her parents there.
That's exactly what I said in the chat. So I'm just...
Exactly. I'm backing you up on that. It wouldn't be proper.
I've got my sword to block the door in case, she's running too fast and she'd fall down the mountain, that's all.
Of course. Yeah. Well, nobody actually comes out, but you do hear the sounds of... Jan actually heard the sounds of flapping at a distance, and then you heard like a crash in the forest not too far away. And then pretty soon, both of you start to hear like a tramping of feet through the wood, and it's approaching you.
I make like a yawn and climb a tree.
Wait, hold on. Did you say heat?
The same tree? Heat? What are you? You're asking?
Absolutely the same
As
tree.
in, The thing you'd use to roast marshmallows?
No. No. There was. I said the sound of tramping feet, maybe.
I order my bodyguards to also climb trees. I don't know if they're able to do it, but I tell them to.
Okay, so
Wait,
go ahead
hold
and
on.
give me a climb check, and then roll a d6 for your
Meat shields.
errants. Yeah.
Faulkner can leaf step if he wants to, just so you know.
Yeah, I know I leaf step. I use my leaf step ability.
Okay.
That's way better, because I got a d10 in leaf step and only a d4 in climbing. And I got a 0 on my leaf step, which means it's actually a 10, because that's
Yes.
how that die
Okay.
works.
Yeah.
So I got a 15. I climb up that fucking tree.
Nice. Yeah, you do. You don't even climb it. You just like flit up to the highest branches. On
And it's
a level with Jan.
it's purely skill based, not fear based. Fear doesn't drive my ability to climb the tree. Just to be clear.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Because I'm brave.
And then your guards, roll a d6 for them, and this will not have the benefit of the wild die.
Well, they rolled a 6.
Okay.
And then they rolled a 3.
Nice. So yeah, they all managed to climb up the tree, and you are walking. You're hiding in this tree, and you're looking out, and then down at the clearing, just on the edge of where this cave starts, you see.
Hold on, Eli. Just a second. I'm not hiding. I'm waiting.
Right. Yeah. I misspoke.
Tactically.
Definitely
Tactically
not
waiting.
hiding. Tactical waiting. Yeah. Absolutely. You can have a Benny for that. But you see that there are some figures that emerge from the brushes, right? They're ruffling, and then you see a man about your age and two women about your age kind of stumble out, and they're all three wearing very fine clothing, high quality, but it's been aging for, you would guess, a year or more. It's in kind of rough shape.
Do I know what ethnicity they're like? Are they river folk? Are they wood folk?
They're definitely wood folk, and as a matter of fact, they don't look like they're well bred. They look kind of out of place in the clothes they're wearing. At this point,
I decidedly don't trust them.
Sounds good. At this point, we switch back to Eggle in the village. You have arrived at your mother's cottage, and she like comes to the door and she looks at you and she's totally shocked, and she even starts to like tear up, and she says, "Eggle? Agalaz, Albaz, Alfheimer, come here!" And she like wraps you up in a hug and she embraces you, and it's so real. It's like you're really there.
I break away from the hug and I present her the horn to see her reaction.
She says, "What is this? It looks dark."
You don't know it?
No, I've never seen it before in my life. Why would I? I've never been.
Then I just say, oh, sorry, continue.
No, you go ahead.
Creeping closer.
Creeping closer? Is she aware of creeping closer?
I would think that she has to know the name. Like, it had to have been visited to her as well.
Okay, so she shudders and she looks down at the horn and she says, "Is this an artifact of creeping closer?"
It is an artifact. That's all I know.
Well, we must destroy it.
This is so weird. I never thought about him with his mother.
Son, we must destroy it. It needs to be done.
Kill her. She wants to destroy the artifact.
I need to get back to my companions.
So you will not destroy this horn?
I can't. Not yet.
Well, you are no son of mine until you do. And then she just turns around and closes the door in your face.
Damn!
Then I'll turn around and head towards the grave of Alguntrum.
Okay, sounds good. Meanwhile, at the top of the mountain, so yeah, the sun has been shining. It seems like the whole place is pretty cleared out.
Damn right, I am the king of everything.
Well, That's interesting looking.
Hey man, you are just as kingly as I am.
And then about at this point you hear "Caw, caw," off in the distance, and then there's like a crash down in the woods about 150, 200 feet further down the mountain.
Nocking an arrow. Look in that direction.
Okay, you manage to see some quillcrows kind of like tumble out of the sky down into the forest. But give me a notice check.
A 5, but I think it's a -2, so 3.
A 3? Okay. Yeah, then you just see quillcrows tumble into the trees. But you know that it's about the same area where Jan and
10.
Faulkner were. 10? You see the quillcrows tumble down, but you also notice that they don't look like normal quillcrows. It looks like they're a lot...
Are they coming after us, or are they going after where the cave was?
No, they are definitely going down into the forest, disappearing from where you are, and it looks like they're in about the same area as the cave.
They're
We better
going
head
after
down there.
Jan. We should go get them.
Yep.
I will cut the rope that's attaching me to everything, and I will run down there like a crazy-ass fool.
All right.
Wait, you have to get down the mountain.
I was
The
gonna
cliff
say,
face,
I
don't
assume
you?
you'll use
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to
craft,
run down the cliff face like a crazy-ass fool.
Nice. All right. And, you both got raises on your... Well, Darkhood, you didn't have a leaf step thing. But
I don't
Warren,
think
you
so.
got a... Oh, you didn't even do a roll. That's right. You were hoisted up. So, yeah, you can be hoisted back down and then cut the rope and run.
Why would I do that when I can run down the mountain?
Well, climbing check -2.
I don't have
Oh, wait.
climbing.
Well, then that's a D4 -4.
I have acrobat, which says +2 agility and leaf step ability.
Yeah, so if you make an agility check and you get a raise, then you'll get... Well, if you pass, then you'll get leaf step for 3 rounds. If
I
you get a
see,
Raise, yeah. then
Ooh,
you get-
you said 4 minus 4?
That's right.
4 or 6.
Total?
Hold on. 12.
Oh, my God.
14 minus 4 is 10.
Oh my God. Okay, then you managed to run right down the face of this cliff and cut yourself free. Duncan, what about you?
Yeah, so you said that this is mostly evergreens.
Yeah, lots of conifers.
So I'm going to be looking for some really tall ones that are growing fairly close to this cliff face,
Okay.
and I'm going to attempt to leap into the tops of them and kind of use the branches to kind of slow my fall.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can have a Benny for that. Well done. And did you make an agility check to activate Leaf Step?
I have not yet.
Okay, go ahead and do that then.
Yeah, let me check real quick. Agility. Ooh, sweet. Okay.
It's agility +2 because acrobats gets a +2 to agility checks.
Okay, so that is an 11.
All right, yeah, then you have Leaf Step for the rest of the scene. You can flit around as much as you want.
So yeah, I actually light into the top of a conifer and actually use my own weight to have it bend over to the next one that's a little lower. It's a smaller tree, and then just keep doing that until I work my way to the ground.
That's awesome. It
You
reminds me of
pansies with the leaf step.
dominoes or
Gravity works just fine.
something. So Freelord Warren is dashing through the forest down this hill.
Like a
and
parkour
then-
master.
That's right. And then Darkhood is up in the treetops going on the same path, but even more impressive than the parkour going on down in the forest. And so meanwhile, back down at the cave door, these 3 youths, these 3 young adults, are stepping out of the brush, and they're kind of looking with confusion at each other and at their hands and at their clothing. And then they look at the cave door, and they start to rush over toward it.
I jump down.
As they get close, Jan will invoke the power of his ancestors to try to cause them to get entangled and stuck in one place.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me that roll then.
Do I have to drop on them? Does that count?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. You're hiding from them.
So I get a +4. What is it? I don't remember what the drop is. It's just +4 to attack or damage. Well, is this an attack because it's a power?
No, because you're not doing damage. An attack is specifically to cause damage.
Okay. So I'm
I'll give you
doing
a
my.
+2.
Okay. Well, so my rolls is just a 6. So hold on. Oh, I am liking my dice tonight. 8.
8. Okay, yeah. Then what's the thing for getting a raise on Entangle? I've got it right here.
Well, they have to roll to see if they get caught.
That's right. And it's a strength roll?
It's agility.
Agility, yeah. So, okay then. They will each make a roll. One of them escapes. Wait, what was your total? 11?
8.
8. Okay, so one of them escapes, one of them gets caught, and another one gets caught. So one of the guys and the gal both get wrapped up by these weeds, but the other one like dives out of the way and rolls to his feet and is like all of a sudden looking around everywhere. Who's out there? Who's out there?
And exactly that time,
Okay.
Faulkner falls down, notices the vines, and trips and falls on his butt. And he's like, what just happened?
So the young adult who's about your age like whips out a dagger and is like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
I'm Sir Faulkner. Sir Faulkner. Because last time I said the brave, the person got all excited, and now I don't want to be the brave anymore.
Where did the elf go?
I think it may have died.
Have you defeated it?
Yes! Yes! I defeated the elf!
So at this point, Freelord Warren and Darkhood, you can hear that shouted out into the forest. Yes, I defeated the elf, and you recognize that it comes from this new Sir Faulkner fellow.
Motherfucker, there was an elf down there. God damn it.
And then you arrive at the cave, and so the
Where's his body? Where's his body?
It would be inside the cave, but obviously
Sir Faulkner
Has anyone told me that?
No, no one has told you that yet. Wait, do you arrive? Do they show up?
Yeah, they're there now.
I say, I've saved these 3 individuals, 2 of which are inexplicably trapped in some kind of vines. But I saved them from an evil elf by confusing it with my verbiage.
How are their boots?
You know, they look like they're pretty fine quality boots.
These are illustrious, noble woodsmen from... excuse me, where are you from?
What? We have lived in this cave for the past year.
But before that, back when you were rich...
Is there good food in there? I am almost out of wine.
There's great food in there, lots of wine, but shh. Where are you from, ma'am?
I start walking into the cave.
They look at each other and they say, we are from the village of Alton. And then one of them is like, wait a second. You were with the caravan the other day.
Yes, caravan, that's me.
And then the girl who's being entangled says, "You killed Lars! You killed him! And you killed Hilla! And you killed Daisy!"
Nope, wrong caravan. That wasn't me. I didn't kill anybody.
Wait a second.
I'm walking into the cave.
If you've been in this cave for the last year, how did you know that we were with a caravan yesterday?
They look at each other again. And they spend a few seconds. And then the one who's not entangled, he just sinks. And he says...
She.
No, it's a man.
Nope, it's a she.
A guy and a girl got entangled. There's a guy who's not entangled.
There was 2 girls and a guy.
No, there was 2 guys and a girl.
Okay.
But yeah, hold on. So, the guy who is not entangled, he puts his dagger away and he kind of slumps, and then he says, "I am Georg. I am from the village of Alton, and for the past year we have all been cursed by an elf. For half of every day we would take the form of Quillcrows."
I say, oh...
That explains
oh
it.
dear. So you were Quillcrows, and that's who Lars... Oh, God. Oh, and I walk over to him, and I'm like, I am so sorry. There's no way we could have possibly known.
Yes, I know.
To be fair, you attacked us.
I say, You! Who are you? Just shh. I am so sorry this happened to you. What can I do to right this horrible thing that has befallen you?
Well, you killed the elf, didn't you?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
you've freed us from our curse, I guess. We're not Quillcrows anymore. We should be until sundown.
At that point, Jan jumps down right next to the gal that is entangled and appears to grab near the ground and says, "Don't pee on her!"
You can have a Benny for that. The girl looks down and is like, "What? Ernst, are you peeing?"
Maybe a little.
I'm scared, okay?
I had too much to drink before we left.
And
well, then he'll say, "Apologies, Molass. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he kind of looks like he's holding something by the scruff of its neck if there was something there, but he's just holding the air and walks off towards the tree."
The girl looks at the girl looks at Sir Faulkner and then at Darkhood and then at Freelord Warren.
Who's walking into the cave?
You're walking in? Okay. Yeah, you open up the doors and you see that inside...
I would actually try and stop him from that, because I think there might actually be an elf in there, because I don't actually know that the elf is dead.
Fuck you, there's wine in there.
I was kidding about the wine. There's no wine in there. I was kidding.
No,
I was kidding.
You didn't say there was wine in there. They said there was wine in there, and my bottle's almost empty, so...
I said there was wine in there.
Jan says, and there might be dark beer.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no wine. There's dark beer. The elf was
Fuck
confused
beer.
earlier about what elf was. Or wine? Spirits? It was very confusing, but I beat it in a
Whatever, alcohol,
battle.
better go check it out.
All
Don't
right,
go in
so
there. Don't.
you walk inside.
Oh, damn it.
There is a long table with set with 8 chairs situated around it, and you don't see any signs of life inside. Like there are trappings of life, but no living things. There are plates and goblets that are set out at each place on the table, but they're all empty.
What about the table? Is there food and stuff on the table?
No. Like I said, the plates and... yeah, so like there are platters too, but the platters are empty. They're not dusty or anything. It looks like they were just set out this morning, but they are empty.
You lying bastards! That goes out of the cave.
You do see a cask back in the corner of the room, though.
Fuck yeah. Walking over to it.
All right, you get over there and you uncork it, and nothing comes out.
You lying bastard! I cut it in half with my sword.
Yeah, you do that, and then the sword disappears because the time limit is up.
3 turns.
Meanwhile, back in Eggel's village, Eggel, you find yourself at the grave of Algundrum.
At this point, I'm broken down. I lay the horn on the grave, sitting before it, and start speaking to Al, for asking for guidance, for help. I'm scared and I don't know what to do. I feel like I've been having flashes of darkness since I got to the village.
Make a spirit check,
Spirit.
and it'll be the -2.
Well, 8.
8? Okay, success of the raise. So you're talking about how you just feel lost and you don't know what to do next or what is the right course of action, and you just feel this peace come over you, and it's almost like, so Owl, whenever you were really discouraged about something, he had a way of just putting his hand on your shoulder, and he didn't say a whole lot. He just put his hand on your shoulder to let you know, like, he was there and he was pulling for you, And you feel that same kind of comfort. You almost feel the impression or the weight of a hand on your shoulder. It's like the wind almost, like, tries to grip you, but it can't. Doesn't have any strength behind it. But you just have this peace, and you realize nobody here can help you. Owls in the ground. Like it's time for you to solve your own problems, and even if you wanted to get help from somebody, nobody in this village has the power to be able to help you confront creeping closer. The only people that you can think that would be able to help, in fact, are the people that you just left.
Is the horn doing anything right now?
No, it's not doing anything. It feels as cold as it always does, but like holding this horn, you realize that whenever everything went dark and you arrived here, it felt like you blew the horn, but it felt like what came out of the horn wasn't just a sound and it wasn't just wind, but it was like your spirit. It was like the horn projected you out of itself.
Okay, then thanking Owl, I will think of my companions, of all of them. I'll concentrate all my thoughts on thinking about them, and bring the horn to my lips and blow the horn again.
Okay, so make a vigor check against cold damage.
Cold damage. 5.
5? Okay, yeah, then you pass. And you feel once again this sense of driving ice and wind, and then all of a sudden everything goes dark. Meanwhile, back at the cave, Darkhood and Jan, I think you should go ahead and act that out, because that is absolutely worth a penny.
So as Warren goes inside, Jan looks around, kind of holds up his fingers and starts counting on them, and he just can't get to 3, and he's confused by this, and he asks Darkhood, "Weren't there 3 of you, 4?"
Yeah, he blew it, literally. Eagle blew the horn, and he disappeared.
And then, as if on cue, there's a huge gust of wind that comes from nowhere, but it sweeps right past you, and all of you, in fact, are kind of pelted by these little ice, not shards, but it's like tiny hail or something, sleet.
Even Warren in the
past
cave?
you. Yeah, well, you definitely hear the sound, but it doesn't actually touch you at all. And for those of you that it does touch, it doesn't actually hurt you, but you definitely feel like this little blast of icy wind. And then all of a sudden, Eggle is standing right there outside the cave in between all of you. And he's shivering.
You say, what? Where did you come from?
Seeing his companion cold, Jan walks over, grabs the boar pelt that he's had over his shoulder, and just throws it on top of Eggle, and with a hearty slap on the back, is like, "There you are!"
Now hold on an ancestor damn minute. Where did you come from just now?
It doesn't matter. And then
It does matter.
I'll smile at that, a rare Eggle smile, and place the horn on the ground and say, do with it what you will.
Okay. Before you place it on the ground, as you're holding it in your hands, and this may even be the reason why you decide to place it on the ground, but it feels a little dead. It's not like it's less cold, but it's just, there's something about it that feels a little diminished.
There's no life in it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I place it on the ground, I turn around, and I say, do whatever you want.
You've loved it for one night and been done with it.
Quick question. What does this look like exactly?
It is a black horn that's actually made out of horn, but it's not from any animal you've ever seen. It's kind of this like, the horn itself is banded, you might say, and then it's bound with these thick iron bands that have these black spikes that are maybe about a half-inch long, radiating around each of the bands.
So it's very friendly looking.
Yeah, and it's always kind of like cold misting a little bit, you know.
Dark is going to try to smash it with a rock.
I'm going to try and bump it with my foot, and then jump back as a rock smashes it.
So, Darkhood, give me a strength check.
All right, let's see here. Strength. Let's go D6. Five.
A 5? That is success, so go ahead and give me a damage roll. Let's say it's strength plus D6.
Okay.
While Darkwood's doing that, Jan's going to go to the woman that's trapped and help her get loose and chat her up.
Wait, hold on. A rock is a D6?
It's a big rock.
Okay, and you cannot use bennies on damage, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the total is 3.
3. Okay, yeah. Then you slam the rock down, and it doesn't do anything to the horn, and so you lift it up, and you slam it again, and it still doesn't do anything. Warren, inside the cave, you have tried to check the cask. Are you doing anything else inside there?
Is there anything going on in here at all?
Yeah, actually, you look over into the corner, just inside from where the door was, and you see that there are a row of 7 beds. And in one of the beds, there is a figure, and it like rolls over and groans whenever you turn around.
I walk over to it.
It is a young woman about your age, and she has both of her hands bound, and you can see their blood stains on her hands.
Oh, is it colder inside or outside?
It's a little warmer inside the cave, not by a lot, but a little bit.
Is she shivering?
No, she's under a blanket.
Okay. I have no medical skills to speak of. She's shivering, or she's under the blanket. I'm gonna call for her companions.
Okay. Her hands are bandaged, by the way. I didn't think I did it.
Yeah, you did say that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so you call for her companions, and one of them outside, he as you guys are standing outside, he looks in, and he looks worried, right? And so he immediately drops everything and runs inside. He's the one that wasn't entangled. And so you see this guy come inside, and he says, is she okay?
She's alive.
He runs over to her and kneels down next to the bed, and he says, it's okay. Daisy, it's okay. I'm here. Everything's fine. And she says, what? Why? What's going on? He says, the curse is lifted. The curse is gone. These men, they saved us. And she says, what? He says,
I am just as confused as she is. Are you telling me there's no wine in here? I was promised wine.
Wine? Well, there was this morning. And he looks around and he says, there was also food on all of these plates.
Do you need food? I have food with me.
No, we're not hungry, but maybe when the elf's power left, so did the food.
There was an elf?
Yes.
You know there was an elf.
Well,
Buckner is claiming to have killed the elf.
Yeah, but I wasn't here for that part of the claim.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, but there's no body. There's no salt pile anywhere. There's no fire.
It's true. Yeah, the elf is absent, but there's no reason to believe it's dead.
Tell you what. There is this village down the way that needs people to look over it.
What's the name of this village?
Out of character, I can't fucking remember.
Is it the one that you were just in, or are you talking about Sir Faulkner's village?
I was talking about the one we were just in.
Oh, okay. So the guy says, "Are you talking about Alton?"
Yes.
That
sounds familiar. We just had a feast.
He says that was our home. Once.
They would probably love to. Wait, hold on. Wait. Did you take up the call of errantry, and then disappear?
We thought we did. Perhaps we should explain. I think we should return to the village. Perhaps we should explain there.
That would be a very good idea.
Okay. Does anybody have anything that they want to do?
Jan chats up the other girl and tries to impress her by telling how he jumped out of a tree and cut a Quillcrow in half the day before.
She weeps when you tell her this. She sobs.
Jan tries to comfort her.
She says, "That was little Kiln."
Faulkner would like to interact with his horn.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna try and take that realistically and not with the euphemisms of ego in my head.
First he kicks it.
Oh God!
It tumbles across the floor.
Okay, then he reaches down and is there like a strap? I assume there's a strap on it, right?
Yeah, sure.
He picks it up with his sword and he lifts it up and he looks at it, very uncertain about what the hell this is.
It's dangerous. That's what it is.
Is Darkhood a mind reader?
I would imagine the way you're looking at it would probably be pretty plain to see.
I try and make a knowledge lore check to see if I have any idea what the hell this is.
Jan takes a break from trying to comfort the gal and says, "I still say we should sell it."
I got an 11 on my lore check.
You know that the riders of the Wild Hunt, who are notoriously evil and powerful elves, usually carry horns with them. And you realize that Egil has just appeared in a gust of icy wind, and that's the same thing that happens whenever the Wild Hunt appears and whenever they disappear as well.
Ah, well. So Faulkner touches it with his finger, but very gingerly, like he touches it and then pulls away immediately to see if it, hurts him at all.
It's cold to the touch, but it doesn't feel malicious or anything.
Okay, he puts his finger on it and sees if it hurts him if he just keeps his finger there.
It's still cold, but not enough to, be biting cold, you know?
He takes it and he wraps it up in a cloth, because he's got cloth, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts it in a bag. And he's like, "I will investigate this later."
Okay.
No good.
No good. Does Darkhood say that out loud?
Oh yeah, that's elf magic. It's tainted.
He immediately pulls it out of his bag, throws it on the ground, and smashes it with a rock.
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Now you have the right idea.
Okay. I'm super strong. What is my super strong? 10. 10 strongs. Well, my 10's not good, but my diet, wow, looks loaded. Okay, 10.
10 total? Alright, so that's a success with a raise, so you can roll strength plus d6 plus 2 damage.
Yes! Strength and d6 and 2?
Mm-hmm.
God, I need to get a new d10.
Right? He doesn't just get add another d6.
Oh, that's a good point. I was thinking, this isn't strictly a damage thing, but that's a good point. So an extra d6 is fine, instead of the plus 2.
Oh, I like that, because that one exploded. Okay, so that's a 3, a 2, a 6, and a 3 is a million.
I believe
I think your math is wrong.
14.
But 14 sounds right.
But the toughness is actually only 8, so you do have a success with 1 raise, which means that you have this rock and you bring it up, and it must have been weakened by Darkhood's effort because you slam this stone down, and the horn just cracks, right, and it cracks right down the middle, and you feel this gust of wind blast out at you when it does so, but then the mist, the cold mist that's rising up off of the horn, it slowly goes away, and all of a sudden it just looks like it's a broken piece of horn on the ground in front of you.
I poke it to see if it's still cold.
It is not.
I pick it up and claim it as a trophy and say, "I have slain an elf and destroyed elf magic. I am a hero."
You can have a penny for that.
Darkhood stood by, kind of over him, kind of behind him as he was smashing this thing, and once he sees that it's broken, he just kind of gives a simple nod, and then he turns and walks away.
Nice. All right. So then you guys return to the village, and it's an awkward welcome because you are errants, and they generally don't like errants, and they're not drunk from the night before anymore, so they're a little less enthusiastic than they were last night. But it's also awkward.
As I walk in, I announce that I have slain the elf, destroyed the elf magic, and saved their people.
they look at you and they seem like they're accepting that answer, but they're not exactly grateful for it. Just because these people, you don't get the impression that they get grateful for a whole lot unless they're also really drunk at the time.
Do I realize that he's full of shit?
Yeah, I mean, that's a reasonable inference.
What? No.
I'm too
he left, and the elf was dead.
I'm too stoic to care, but okay.
I don't think... How does he know?
You might doubt. I mean, it's not like you know for certain that he's wrong, but you might not be totally sure that he's telling the truth.
On the trip back, Jan whispered to Warren what happened.
Well, now he knows I'm a little bit, maybe, possibly.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Even if you're full of shit, I'm not going to stop you or challenge you or anything like that.
Okay.
Bribe you later, maybe, but...
So, you guys are back in the village, and after a tearful reunion between the villagers and these kids, or these young adults, everybody's kind of gathered together, and Celebrant Marion congratulates the crap out of you guys. He is so pleased. He said that he felt the growing of Runiel's power in this area as soon as it happened. And you hear from the 4 surviving kids that a year ago they wanted to answer the call of errantry, and they all left together, all 7 of them. And they were walking down the forest road whenever they encountered a creature, a person, actually, that told them that he would train them in the ways of errantry. He was a renowned errant himself. So they went to his cave on a mountainside, and they made a pact with him to work on his behalf as he was training them. It would be an exchange. And it turns out that he was an elf all along, a changeling. And changelings have the power to appear however a person wants them to appear. And all these people wanted to be errants, and so he appeared as an errant that could teach them. And they were tricked, and they were cursed, and from sunup until sundown for the past year, they've been Quillcrows, and they've been driven to serve the elf, which means terrorizing their own people in the village, stealing food, pillaging caravans along the road, just really reprehensible stuff. And they're going to have to atone for that. But for now, it seems at least like the village is willing to accept them.
I informed them that if they want to repent, they should join a real errant. And then I hastily pull out of my horse's saddlebag my thing of errantry, and I dust it off and it was dirty before. And I put it on and be and I'll train you to be real heroes like me.
A couple of the villagers at this point are pretty enamored of you, but all of the 4 kids who return, they say, no, our days of errantry are done. We are settled once more, and we will work to make this village, our home, a better place.
Can you just forsake being an errant?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I put my hands on 2 of their shoulders, and I say, that's fair. That's good. You can serve your people by just being good peasants.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
Whoa,
You can just be poor and help the other poor people.
They're not peasants. They're former errants. There's a difference.
They're not actually former errants. They were tricked by an elf. They never actually became errants.
They answered the call of errantry, and now they have rejected it.
They were just particularly wicked errants.
They're not nobles, but they're not commoners.
Exactly. And at this point, we fade to black, and the session is over.
They're equestrians.
Equestrians.
Wait, they ride horses?
I'm sure it works out somehow.
It was the intermediate level of nobles in Rome. It works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because they owned horses or something, right?
Not really, but whatever.
Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, or if you watch this later on, thanks for tuning in after the fact. I hope you enjoyed the game. I think everybody did a great job. I'm curious to explore the upper limits of power, or higher levels of power in Savage Worlds at any rate. So I think at the end of every session, we're just going to give you guys 5 experience points so that you can advance every time. But you guys all did a great job. I wish I could have given away twice as many bennies. I was trying to ration them because I figured you guys were going to hit the upper limit. And some of you
I want
did.
to nominate Eggle for an extra experience point.
Yeah, that was some really nice development for sure. Would anybody else like to nominate someone?
I would nominate Alexander because he did such a great job at his first session with us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That opening narration in particular was a really nice way to kick off your character.
Agreed.
Man, I would have done it so much better if I wasn't as drunk as I am.
Well,
It's all good. The rest of us are drunk too. We'll be
Oh,
fine.
good.
Cool, guys.
And
All right,
by,
well,
and by
like
the
I
rest
said,
of us, Andrew means him.
thanks
I think
everyone
I've
for
seen
tuning
Eggle
in.
drinking.
let me get this off live really quick. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Like I said, we're part of the Nerds International Network. That's with a hyphen, Nerds International. Check them out on Google Plus. Check out their podcast, all that stuff. And then also tune in for Jeremy's Caldera game. Do we have a date for the next one? Okay, but we'll figure it out sometime. Anyway, his channel is on YouTube. His username is Erasmus Furno, right? One
You're
word.
totally muted.
One word or one syllable?
Yeah, sorry, I was updating my character sheet.
Oh no problem.
So it's if you just search D&D in Caldera, it should come up.
It will come up. I
think if you just search my name, Jeremy Lilley, Lilley, you can also find. I think that's technically what the channel is under. So
Every time I want to rewatch the sessions, I just type in D&D Caldera. It's always the first hit.
yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm assuming it's the only hit.
Well, I mean, there's other hits. There's like stuff about volcanoes.
All right,
There you
so
go.
everybody have a great night, and go forth, errants, walk the way's margin.